they're building for themselves. I believe the draft is just about ready to get underway. How are we feeling about this one in terms of the draft? What kind of heroes are we expecting picked and banned?
I definitely think Kestrel is going to be a major story, and she's going to be 100% either in the ban. I would imagine probably not leaving the ban, but
most likely.
That's going to be part of the major story today.
And we already saw that Gankstars can deal with having to ban that Kestrel every game. They did it yesterday without any issues. Koshka also going to be banned. This is probably going to be the first two bans, all 3 to 5 games is almost certainly going to be Koshka Kestrel taken off the board.
Who would have thought it? An EU team banning Koshka? Never would have expected that. But the Kestrel going to be taken away as well. So now that those 2 bans are out of the way, what kind of picks are we looking at first? Are we just leaning towards the Lyra and Adagio again?
Most likely. I mean, it's very strong first picks, but they're going to go with the Grumpjaw on Team Secret. This is one that I'm kind of surprised by. They haven't played this during the season.
And this is an adaptation, I believe, to yesterday's games, most likely from them, knowing and kind of seeing where some of the strengths from Gankstars came from. They saw this Grumpjaw be very successful. They're like, I mean, Xeno was making major plays and actually game-saving plays, so it is the takeaway, but Gankstars goes with that Adagio first pick.
Surprised they went with the Adagio first over the Lyra, just because, again, Wrecked on Lyra is just one of those things that you know is going to be phenomenal. So are they going to put the Adagio onto Wrecked, or is it going to be in the lane is where I'm kind of curious about what they're going to do.
One thing they could think about doing, because they are B-side, if they don't get rid of Lyra, they can force the ban from Team Secret, which allows them to pick Lyra up and kind of go towards a double heal around Xenotech, maybe a Black Feather. We've seen them have insane success on that earlier this season. So the benefit of picking the Adagio here is you do get the flex. It does leave a lot of open questions for Team Secret.
Well, they're going to go with the Vox. I was going to say a Lance ban would make a lot of sense to me for Gankstars because that was the hero they put the most priority on throughout the regular season. Their most banned and one of their most picked, and it was the most played hero for Secret.
So I just want to go a little bit more in depth on this Vox ban specifically, because I believe this is, if not the, then one of the first Vox bans we've actually seen. What's the logic behind taking that one out?
It's mainly just the idea that if this is something they've scouted for Tricky specifically, if it's a comfort hero for him, they don't want him to fall back on comfort if it's his first time on stage.
Yeah.
You can play the mental game. You can take away some things that are, yep, they got the double heal, by the way. While we're talking about Vox, Lyra comes right in. The Sky ban to me is actually very peculiar. I don't really understand, other than the fact that she can potentially counter Grumpjaw in a situation, but it's not like Xenos showed us a lot of Sky that they need to be concerned about.
Maybe just seeing how well Sky was doing, that NA Sky in Series 1, just not wanting to face an NA Sky.
But like Sweejay was saying while he was here, the Sky, it's a very strong counter to melee laners. And so I think that ban on the Sky is just because Team Secret wanted a melee laner, and that's why they grabbed this Black Feather to go along with the Grumpjaw. So it kind of works in their favor to ban away the Sky, but it also kind of tipped their hand a little bit. And a melee laner isn't necessarily going to be an end-all be-all because Gankstars are going to have so much durability.
But there's still things like Arden and Lance available right now with a full melee composition. This could build up pretty nicely for Secret.
Yeah, I mean, well, so with the Celeste lock-in is last pick here, though, they have a lot of flex options still available for Secret. Black Feather could go to lane or could go to jungle, so that does mean Gankstars just needs to most likely finish out a comp they feel comfortable with. It's not
Rona.
so much about the counter. With Black Feather taken, I do feel like Rona moves up into the top priority
Not only
position
that, but
here.
Rona with a double heal, like that is the double heal comp that we used to see. The only other thing I could really see being strong with it would be a Lance or a Krull. We have yet to see Krull at the Unified Championship, so I would like to see it, and there it is!
Yes! They get the Krull pick. So, very different compositions coming in for this game. Where does this Krull fit in? What are we expected to see? Oh, in fact, I suppose we don't have too much time to go heavily into this one, so I'm just going to go for your predictions on this one. We'll start with you, Fuji. How do you feel this draft has gone? Who do you think has the advantage?
I think Team Secret, if they execute Grumpjaw's ultimate and take Krull out of the picture, they win really hard, but it's a lot of execution required.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of execution required, but I also just don't really feel like all 3 heroes synergize that well for Team Secret. And Krull is Bay, so I'm going to have to go with the Krull.
All right, well, that's how we're feeling on the desk. It's time to head over into our first game of the second series and pass it to our casters.
Thank you very much, Munchables. We are here for court for this match. Gankstars versus Team Secret, NA versus EU. And I have been trying to contain my hype for this match
You really
for weeks. Like, this is what I'd live for.
Oh, no, just listening to Dowsey all day going on and on, looking at him in his notebook. His enthusiasm is really sustaining us into this one. But NA takes the first series today. There's a lot on Gankstars here to continue on to that legacy, to keep that NA track record going. And a Crow coming out with the double heals looks like a very durable and solid comp.
Right, and I believe it's the first Crow we've seen played here at the Unified Western Championship, Live Championship as well. So, day of first, heroes are all coming out in spades. Everyone is playing everything, and yesterday Xenotech had an amazing performance. His Grumpjaw, well, I was sitting in my hotel room. I had to go back and get some rest, but I was awake. I was full awake for the rest of the evening after watching it. It had me on a high that I haven't experienced in a while. So, like, this is something that I'm really excited to see, and especially to see if Xenotech, Araki Zoro, and of course Rekt are here once more to represent North America. The amount of enthusiasm, passion, and fire they brought to their series yesterday was something we haven't seen from Gankstars for months now, forecourt. But Team Secret, man, they want to be the team to take EU home.
Now, there is a little bit of a worry that I'm going to echo Fuji on this one. Like, did Gankstars kind of use up everything? Was yesterday's their best performance? We're hoping not. We're obviously hoping, you know, we go through, we have a great game series here, but the inconsistency is a point to keep in mind.
Yeah, well, we are going to jump onto the Halcyon Fold forecourt for Game 1 of this series. And like you mentioned, Gankstars, they were well prepped for Tempo Storm, but a spanner in the works with the upset from Immortals against Hammers, not really expected, means that perhaps they put a lot of prep work into a G2 matchup, was a little bit more expected as far as brackets are concerned. Right now, though, they are playing aggressive, and I'm the Doom. There's nothing he can do. Currently, it is just going to be the counter invade as Team Secret sends Tricky and Justman over to the other side to make sure no gold is lost out, but choking out I'm the Doom is a really good start by Gankstars.
Yeah, but both sets of backs will actually go over to Team Secret, so they're not really going to be feeling any kind of burn on this one. And Xenotech, you know, in jungle by himself, at least earlier on, it's not the fastest clear. He is going to be very durable. As we said, there's a lot of self-sustain here for this crew, so early on, especially with Justman not getting into that stuff situation, it could take a while to start seeing some bloodlust coming through.
Talked to Team Secret this morning, and they said keep an eye on I'm the Doom. He will either win or break this game for us. If he is able to keep consistent in the jungle, then Team Secret feel their game is that. But Gankstars clearly wanting to make sure that Doom's life is a misery. Here comes Xenotech around the corner to try and start the fire for Gankstars. I'm the Doom should be able to get under his turret, but the smite is there. Not quite at the damage. Now, Tricky roaming on down on this Black Feather. It looks like Team Secret want to try and punish Gankstars for this early aggression, but they just do not have the damage quite yet to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, Rakazoro even coming through, getting some pot shots, and yeah, we bring down the Celeste low, but it's not quite the kill. I'm the Doom did pick up the backs again, though, so again, not really a ton is going to be happening here in terms of that cash swing. It's still Gankstars kind of taking a little bit of an early lead with this momentum. They're kind of keeping Team Secret on the back heels, very reactionary. And, well, Justman and Tricky, they're going to have their hands full with this double ranged in lane, especially Rekt on this Lyra. He really, really does throw out a lot of that harass.
Well, Justman going to come in, try and find some aggression. Doesn't quite land it, and that is a lot of damage being chucked back his way. You mentioned Rekt on his Lyra. This guy loves building Storm Crown on his Lyra. First item for the extra damage, harass, and this is the kind of lane matchup he can afford to do that. Currently, I'm the Doom getting singled out in the jungle. A lot of damage onto him. Xenotech coming in. He's looking for first blood. Fire is burning away, but it's just not enough. The stun, the core collapse keeps him alive.
Yeah, I'm the Doom. Good play from him. Will not go down for that first. Justman, though, is going to be trying to make something happen here, but 2v1, especially a bit more on this captain role, he's really just hitting into the wind.
Yeah, he does not actually have any gap closing, so we'll take a pretty sizable amount of health in damage there. Not really what you want to be doing. Doesn't even have the life spring, so we'll be forced to go back immediately. Gankstars dictating so much of this early aggression.
And the early aggression is very much warranted at this point. I'm the Doom in that jungle. If Celeste does find herself in that 2v1 situation, how many attempts has Xenotech now already taken at her life? But finding that 2v1 is really what Gankstars want to do, because they get the kill, they can own both sides of the fold here in that jungle situation, and that really just kind of leaves Irakizoro to do whatever he wants there in lane, because Justman is going to be ping-ponging back and forth. He's going to be trying to cover I'm the Doom, he's going to be trying to cover that lane, but Rekt and Iraqi just, again, they can really spread out or they can condense. Either way, it's still a really good strategy for these guys, and the double range nature is just kind of keeping these guys ahead.
Not only that, Xenotech, the amount of CS gold that he's stealing away from I'm the Doom is meaning that he is progressing further ahead in this jungle matchup. And if Cruel can get ahead, then he is one of the hardest melee junglers to deal with.
It's not often you do get to see a Crow get ahead, and in this situation, as he continues on, yes, he is going to go more offensive. You can see that first pickup right here. He has double healer in the back, and now even more sustain on top of his already sustain. He is not going to be something of a frontline tank. No, Xenotech is really going to be a lot of utility, but also a little bit more offensive, I feel, as time goes on.
Yeah, Poison Shift first item, increased attack speed, and also can apply the mortal wounds. Now, there's not much innate healing on the side of Team Secret yet, but once Tricky builds into his own life sustain items, once I'm the Doom picks up an Eve of Harvest, then they're going to have it. Rekt has gone for that Storm Crown. We mentioned he may do it. He says that he loves doing it whenever he can realistically bully his lane opponents.
Alright, so Rekt, he does go into the Storm Crown. We do have the double heal still here. Iraqi in lane, he picks up his first power spike there as well. 5 minutes, it's looking good for Gankstars, and they're early. I'm the Doom is, well, he's not trailing by a lot, but he is trailing, and that is not something we do get to see with the jungle matchup with that Crow. But Tricky at the same time, we're still looking for his first, big slice. He has those tier 2s, but once we hit into that tier 3, we might start seeing some of that bloodlust.
I'm the Doom runs straight into Xenotech. Core Collapse will find the stun. Crystal Sentry getting involved. I'm the Doom managing to walk away alive. Xenotech did not want to deal with that Crystal Sentry, but he will be able to steal away the healing of that Treant. So actually he goes over to Rekt, not really the person who wanted to get that.
Storm Crown, man, has that little bit of an extra punch by the end of it. Xenotech, I would be very surprised if he actually went into a crown. I really don't expect him to. I expect him to kind of, again, be a little bit more the damage source here for the teams, backed up by the 2 here. But he has gone a little bit more durable, and Rekt just a lot of extra health with those O-carts there as well. He's going to be pumping out those heals.
Not only that, that's double minion candy. Gankstars are setting up to push this lane. Pop them into candies, they've gone down now, and they can just start hammering away at this turret. Not only do they have the range potential, but Rekt, with the true damage to objectives, is going to be able to take that turret even quicker with his Storm Crown. So Gankstars really prioritizing the push. And Team Secret, man, they're going to struggle to clear this wave. All 3 of Gankstars here. Xenotech onto Tricky. He cannot escape. Rose offensive away. He will be able to now. The Bright Bulwark is gone, but the turret has gone down, and Gankstars going to take that early objective. Tricky dives in. He does get out, of course. He is so mobile on the Black Feather, but Gankstars now with a 2,000 gold lead purely from objective.
If Tricky didn't have that level 6 timing, it could have actually been that first blood, but he does go home and he picks up that Shiv. So we have 1 on both sides. You are really going to have to prioritize it here from Tricky, because the double heal, the triple heal, whatever you want to call Xenotech's contributions to the sustain on this one, that Shiv is going to be going a long way. But still, the Hell's Heart they set up, Tricky takes the damage. He does use the Rose offensive. Defensively, he gets out of the situation. They lose out the turret, they lose out gold mine on top of that, and Gankstars now go from a few hundred gold to 2,000 in the blink of an eye. So minion candy set up, the Storm Crown, Xenotech coming in, everything is just really gelling here early on from Gankstars.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we're going to see some first items start to trickle in for Team Secret. They do have that fountain now, but Tricky, he is looking for the aggression onto Rekt. They follow the portal through, it's a good force, but Irakizoro's wanting to get into the fight. I'm the Doom is very low on his Celeste, no real sustain yet for that CP jungler. Justman has the fountain, but it's not something that they want to pop unnecessarily.
You can still see Rekt, really ahead of the curve here, just really making sure that Team Secret are going to be scattering to the wind. And as they do go back through the jungle here, like Xenotech is going to be very comfortable taking this, especially with the whole team there.
Yeah, this is going to be the Crystal Sentry just easily secured there by Gankstars. Without Tricky in possession, they really could not afford to really take a fight there Fountain hasn't been completed by Rect, so perhaps you could make the argument that that was the time to fight now.
You're saying?
No, that fight around the Crystal Sentry could have been the time, but now that the Fountain is in play, Gankstars just feel miles ahead of Team Secret and their power curve. Going to walk into the bush, Xenotech is going to be able to walk away. That was a great boat war. Stops up Justman in his tracks. Stuff available. Looks like Team Secret in position to find a kill. Can they get first blood? No, they cannot. Xenotech finds it onto I Am the Doom. Tricky goes down as well. And the fight is just turned right around. Justman now looking to escape. Xenotech going to charge up his passive. And Justman, man, he's going to have to fly across that wall with the Hangry if he has any chance of surviving.
Whoops.
But he fails the jump. The charm from Rekt. This guy knows that he can BM Justman. Let's tilt Team Secret now. And in just a couple more auto attacks, Justman will fall. Maybe he gets away? No, he does not. 3 kills to Gankstars.
I would have said that Xeno in that speed up would have gotten it. If that wasn't going to happen, could have been the scout trap.
I'm the Doom is in position to fight Araki for this Crystal Sentry, but he is just 1 Celeste, and there is 3 Gankstars looking for this Sentry. It goes down, second life at 940. This dominance from Gankstars is just not being dealt with by Secret.
Yeah, 4,000 gold. The early game has definitely treated these guys well. Xenotech is going to be, he has that Aegis now finished up, but past this breaking point, very likely going to be on the horizon here. That attack speed will go up very nicely, and once you stack all that up, you're hitting with the power of something of the equivalent of 2 Sora Blades on top. And again, like, we just don't get to see Krolls go this offensive this early that often. So this is a real treat for Xeno and this double heals.
Certainly is. It's a 4,000 gold lead at 10 minutes for Gankstars as they look to position in for another fight.
Ooh.
The Hell's Heart, ooh, just scraping the hairs of I'm the Doom there. Her golden locks floating, but I'm the Doom will be able to escape with his Celeste, and so potential engage thwarted.
Okay, so while Xeno has been building up, Tricky at the same time, very similar path. He's done just a tad faster. He is that laner after all. 100 of those last hits to the 40. Xeno, disparity and all that. But Tricky is something of the power here from Team Secret. If it's going to happen, like Justman gets that stuff, and then Tricky just goes to town. That's still a winning combination, but it seems to be that the execution is just not being found here.
Team Secret are scaling is what we're saying here, is that they're attempting to scale the Celeste and the Black Mirror up. Now they're looking for the fight, diving on in, and a lot of damage is there, but Xenotech's on top of I'm the Doom, and there's nothing a Celeste can do. He finds the kill. Can they get the Iraqi? Yes, they can now. Team Secret have to group up and take this fight. A double for Tricky. The rookie on the stage is struggling to deal with this cruel spike down. That's a kill. Xenotech finds his second, and he walks away. Justman does not want that fight.
All right, that's going to be a 2 for 2 by the end of it, but just like what we were saying there, you get that stuff, you split up, Tricky, able to get 2 kills on that one, and the scaling might not be perfect at this point, but 12 minutes in, that's some good signs of life here from Secret. They go from a 0-3 to a 5-2. They're going to stay real healthy up in lane. The wave is going to push, no problem, so there's no threat of any more objectives going over to Gankstars here. So Secret, perhaps that late game is going to kick in sooner rather than later.
Yes, I hope so, because it would be a shame for Team Secret to not get a chance to demonstrate the power of their composition. But then, in the same sentence, you have to just think about what Gankstars are doing here, just countering exactly what Team Secret wanting to do. Not only that, taking everything off the map in the process, making sure that they choke Team Secret from the gold.
That was even with, I believe in, well, maybe not infusions. Those are actually very fresh there from Gankstars. But I'm the Doom did pick up second item on the back of that fight. Unfortunately, they don't have the positioning to keep that sentry going, so he's going to be out of here for the rest of this matchup. And Rekt actually got into third tier 3 item here with that contraption. The cooldown reduction on Rekt is absolutely astounding right now because he has the double cooldowns between the contraption as well as the Storm Crown, and that does translate to a lot of speed ups and a lot of healing.
And the vision game that Gankstars can now utilize in the jungle. The Crystal Sentry's gone. That jungle's open, wide open for Gankstars to walk into and play scout traps. Team Secret, they cannot even, take a bite out of an apple without Gankstars knowing about it.
and Justman into an Atlas on top of things. So you can see a lot of stuff coming together, but Secret's a bit far forward.
Yeah, Gankstars looking to engage this fight, going straight back onto him. The Doom, he gets melted! It's going to be tricky picking up Brett, but does he have the damage to deal with this crew and Adagio? Stuff picks up Rocky, but Tricky is on the defensive. He does not want to take the fight, and Justman's going to have to attempt to run away. Atlas down, but I'm not sure it's enough. Justman gets smited. 2 for 1 for Gankstars.
Yeah, that attack slow doesn't mean much to Xenotech after he builds out that many stacks. He just has to hit a button to cash in. But again, like, the ideas were there, the execution still just a little bit lacking from Team Secret. The catch on I'm the Doom, the initiation from Rekt, he might have forfeited his life for it, but it's set up for that win from Gankstars.
And I have to mention that Xenotech is kind of the person right now who is destroying the Celeste. You have a Grumpjaw on your team. The most success I've ever seen against a Cruel is when Grumpjaw swallows that Cruel up and takes him far yonder, as far away from the fight as possible, to try and give their team as much time to deal with the rest of the carry and captain. I want to start seeing Justman use his ultimate onto this Cruel, and I feel if they get Xenotech away from the fight, they may have a chance, but here we go again. It is going to be Xenotech jumping on in. I'm the Doom gets destroyed. The Verse of Judgment blows them up. A double kill for Xenotech, looking for the third, and he is not going to get it. Rocky finds the ace, but that's all Gankstars need. They are on fire.
Yeah, let's not even talk about Rekt in the portal. There was none. It's just, that was literally just walking up to Doom, finding the gap close, and then deleting him. Doom has that reflex, did not even get upped on that one. Xeno with a very quick double on a double sustain offensive measures as well. I thought that was going to be a breaking point. No, he is just really making sure that that 0 stays in that death column and just walking up to these guys, no fear. It's absolutely astounding. Like, they just literally walk up, delete him, 396, the verse to follow. There's nowhere here for Team Secret to go at all. They are going to chase down the very slow Grumpjaw, and just no stuffed on that one either.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. These stuffed abilities from Justman haven't been quite finding a target quick enough to keep I'm the Doom alive. There's a bit of a responsibility on I'm the Doom to be positioned in a way that he isn't caught, but when you've got a portal on Lyra, the distance that this crew can travel from his passive in a bush to on top of your Celeste is massive, and it's a very, very hard pick to deal with this crew.
All right, so Kroll, definitely the star of the game, 7-0-2. Xenotech's weekend is really shaping up really fantastic, not only for his personal performance, but Gankstars is really going the distance. And this first game setting the pace into this series, 10-3 with a Kraken on the way. I mean, you really got to be feeling good about this one. And Xenotech, you know, with this Kroll, first pick, he plays Kroll quite a bit, but having an outstanding performance as the first pick of the tournament here. Rekt even just going in.
Tricky's nowhere near this fight. I'm the Doom is in so much trouble. He's trying to escape through the portal himself. Justman trying to slow everyone down, but Doom, can he escape is the question. It doesn't seem likely. It's going to be the core collapse, but he falls nonetheless, and that is going to be Gankstars now pushing with the Kraken into the base and trying to finish out this game.
Just what a catch right there, right? If the turrets go down and this Kraken just continues to do work, I mean, that statistic is just going to get better and better, but Tricky was a 0 in that fight. He was nowhere near, he did not contribute, it was a 2v3, and now it's just carnage.
Yeah, this is nothing. Team Secret can't do anything. They do not have the wave clear. 2 average turrets, a Kraken push. Well, this is looking like it will be 3 in a game. They need to make a move, Team Secret, but the first Vein Crystal does 4. Tricky trying to dive in. I'm the Doom with a Solar Storm. Gankstars are falling low, but do they have the damage, Team Secret, to keep their base alive? I'm the Doom smited by Xenotech, and that's going to be a double kill for him. Justman cannot escape. Turret 3 about to fall, and Justman knows the game is over. A triple for Xenotech to finish off game 1. Gankstars look on fire.
Xenotech getting that hypoo at the end with a triple, but man, Gankstars making it look good, making it look easy, and offensive Kroll. Bacon said it, you know, Kroll is Bay to this guy, but these builds coming out with 2.4, with shivs, with double sustains, on the back of a double heals, like Team Secret's really going to have to go back to the drafting board on that one.
Yeah, and speaking of drafting board, I want to hear exactly what our analysts think about that. The crew, a crucial pick. What can Team Secret do about it?
This is the day for EU's redemption, but so far it's just not going that way. We were asking whether Gankstars could keep up the performance they had on day one. Looks like the answer is yes. Game 1, Xenotech stepped up yesterday, and game 1 he stepped up again.
Yeah, I mean, the only hero I like better than Weapon Power Arden is a Curl that doesn't build Breaking Point first. No breaking point even in sight on this Curl build.
Hey, that's conditional love for Curl right there. Not unconditional. But no, you're right. We saw a very different playstyle on this Curl than what a lot of people tend to try to do on this hero, where it's just like kind of scaling, a little slow play. Like they went straight in on this level 1 invade. They got everything. I mean, Curl was level 6 at one point, while I'm the Doom is level 4. Like that's not what you want to see.
It was just a situation where it's like, just a few minutes into the game, it already felt like hopeless almost for Team Secret, but we do have a replay from the game, so let's go into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah, this was that last fight as they were pushing into end, and again, it's so far gone. They got a nice engage, like they jumped onto the target they wanted, but just weren't able to do anything. Yeah,
a lot of the positioning has to be called into question from Team Secret, specifically from I'm the Doom on this Celeste. Just consistently throughout the game being out of position, and once again here the same way. Justman just not really protecting it. It kind of seemed more like Justman was interested in going in with Tricky on the dives, and then poor I'm the Doom just always left alone with Kroll. Like it was just such an easy takedown for Xeno.
And I mean, Xeno 10-0-3 at the end of that game. That is an obscenely great scoreline. And also, just no deaths, right? When you're running Krull, which is high lifesteal anyway, plus 2 healers, like, how do you... They had Poison Shift. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was just completely ineffective. I mean, all of it, I think, comes back to that early game, like Fuji was talking about. They took so much from the early game that they got such a big lead and were able to avoid the pitfall that a lot of North American teams can fall into of not being able to close things out. They were extremely decisive all the way throughout.
Well, we're into the second draft now. We'll see whether the double healer Krull will be allowed to go across again. I doubt that will be the case. Kestrel, the first man. Koshka going to follow it up once again.
One of the things Team Secret needs to do, though, is realize that the double healer Krull, while strong, it also had a lot to do with the fact that they did an A-side Celeste pickup instead of going more into an all-in comp that could go dive the Adagio and take him out. So hopefully don't get too scarred by the first game here. But yeah, I think like Bacon said before, this Kestrel, this Koshka, they're going to be the constant kind of first bans throughout this series. And Gankstars once again saying Adagio is what we want.
Adagio has been very high priority, not just for Gankstars, but for a lot of teams across this tournament so far. Not surprising to see that one picked up first. Do we think I was about to say, do we think that they're going to pick up the Lyra?
There was no way they were going to let that double heal go through again, not after how strong it was.
Yeah, it requires so much coordination to play against, and there was no fortress that was coming through or anything like that, so no way to really shut it down. But Team Secret is going to get rid of the Black Feather, so really fearing the Black Feather for Gankstars. They either picked it or banned it, so an interesting priority coming out of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're seeing once again these captains the focus to start off the draft. But do we have any idea of what direction that this is going to go in, or is this still very much a wide open playing field?
It's still pretty wide open. I do think that Gankstars could put priority on a Grumpjaw pick here if they don't ban it and if Team Secret doesn't take it. It is something they quite like. I was not impressed by Team Secret's Grumpjaw play. They had a hard time finding the right target. They didn't really stick together on the engages the correct way, and he wasn't the peel I really think they needed for their carries there. So the Skyban comes through from Gankstars, so a little bit of respect here. Might be a little bit of a scout thing here. I'm not exactly sure how often Team Secret has succeeded on Sky over the season, but once again, you talked about this, Bacon. It's more of a setup ban at this point. Gankstars could be looking to do the Rona again, and lane Sky could be a potential counter to that.
And Grumpjaw is going to be grabbed there from Team Secret. Again, the positioning and the utilization of this hero is going to be so important. With a Lyra, though, you can make some great combos. Eat someone and then spit them out inside of a Bright Bulwark. That is a long time that you can make a hero essentially just hate
a
life.
sitting duck,
Like,
right?
just a very, very easy to punish, especially now. It takes away a couple of picks that Gankstars might have been looking for. Like, You cannot run an Arden into Grumpjaw Lyra. You cannot run something that like needs to jump on you, but there's the Krull once again.
Going with that Krull once again. I wasn't sure whether it was just a situational pick for last game, but they're more than happy to run it again. Is this something specific against the Grumpjaw?
I think it's more of an idea that Krull did so well, especially paired with at least Adagio to some extent in the last game. Gankstars doesn't really have to change too much. It was a very, very dominant game. So if Gankstars feels like they can take this entire series in the same fashion, they're going to try to hide some cards for future games. So Krull is generally a dangerous A-side pickup, though, for most teams. So Gwen coming through to really add to that early game. Adagio now being flexed down into the captain position.
I'm iffy on that Gwen just because I have not been impressed whatsoever from Iraqi Zoro on Gwen. He's played it a few times during the regular season. The win rate is sitting at about 16%.
Okay. Not good, but Barrett, the final pickup here. That's kind of an EU All-Star pick, right? That's kind of the play style EU's known for. Go to the late game, play Baron, play hyper carry. Do we think that's going to be enough? Do we think that they're going to weather the storm of Krull in this one?
I think they can at this point. The Baron pick is actually really interesting with Team Secret. It was the Baron gameplay that got him really kind of criticized, and then at the end of the season, it was the Baron gameplay that kind of vindicated Tricky. So if he can stick to the end of regular season Baron play, then Team Secret have a chance here.
I think I like Team Secret's draft a lot more, but I got to give it to Gankstars because of the momentum.
Honestly, Gankstars are looking absolutely terrifying. Let's hand it over to our casters. Once again, Forecourt and Dowsy, take it away.
Thank you very much, and you're entirely right. That Baron on Tricky either makes or breaks the guy, but when Gankstars are bringing this much momentum, this much fire, this much determination to be a North American team in the semifinals, then what do Team Secret realistically do about that?
Well, we were talking a little bit about momentum here as the analysts were going on. If this is a 2-0 Gankstars, I firmly believe it will be a 3-0. I mean, this is the chance for Secret to break that, and it will come down to that Baron. How well can they protect it? How much early game can they weather through that? I mean, they got a Grumpjaw, they got that Lyra. These are possibly the best protectors you could set up for that Baron. So if you still can't make this work, that's going to be a 0-3 overall.
I'm the Doom on this. Grumpjaw has to step up immensely. Just swallow up the Krull. Every team fight, swallow up the Krull. Focus down that Gwen. Get it out of the picture. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for this second match of this series between Gankstars and Team Secret. Back onto the Halcyon Fold we go for some more Vainglory action.
All right, now what do we see from Gankstars in the previous matchup? A lot of early invade, a lot of early pressure. The Krull really did feel very confident, and Xenotech taking it here on that last rotation when it came down to it. I mean, Iraqi Zoro, early game Gwen, that's a lot of augmented damage that is very supportive, but finding the same kind of level of target in game number 2 is not going to be there because it's going to be Grumpjaw. Grumpjaw is going to be, I feel at least, a lot more survivable than that Celeste and a lot more effective there as well.
Yeah, no, it makes it a lot more difficult for Xenotech to just remove someone instantly from the team fight. Of course, Tricky will be the target, but Tricky has those jump jets, and once overdriven, will have a great time escaping. Now, Justmen with this Lyra, a crucial pick to steal away from Rekt, and a crucial pick to keep Tricky alive as well.
I also believe that this round Xenotech will definitely be a little bit more tanky rather than damage-oriented because Iraqi should really have a lot of the glass cannon potential here for the team.
That's a minion candy on that wave just to make sure it hits the turret, and Gankstars are reacting to Team Secret. It's something that Team Secret struggled with the last game, was that they were constantly playing to Gankstars' tune. Now with a Baron, it's harder to dictate early moves, but Grumpjaw can definitely be an early game threat that Gankstars have to be concerned about.
All right, so as life does really unfold here, we've vacated this side of the fold here from Gankstars. They did that first rotation. Looks like they're going to be more than happy to kind of go back up to lane, support out Iraqi. Xenotech by himself should be able to farm very easily, and you should not really be expecting a lot of invade out of a Grumpjaw this early on. And if Justman's missing there as well, you can really start punishing out Tricky, or at least attempt at any rate. Get some damage done. You got Rekt, you got Iraqi, and 3-4 minutes in, you're going to have that tension bow on top of things.
It's an important kind of point you made just recently, Forecourt, which is that if Gankstars were to take this second match, you don't feel that Team Secret have the mental fortitude to really come back. This is the first time that Tricky Just Man and I'm the Doom have competed at a live championship, and this is their first game. They got that bye into the second day. They haven't had the chance yesterday to quibble some of those nerves against perhaps a more familiar opponent. That's got to be stacking up in their heads.
Yeah, that's the point that Bacon brought up right there. It's just the nerves. You can really transform your play in the right setting, but it could also go negatively as well. You're in front of a lot of cameras, lights, actions. They're in your head. They're in your. There's a lot of these voices that perhaps you're not used to if you're just chilling at home with your sandals and your pajamas, right? So these guys, it's really their attempt here to bring back momentum to their side, and I just don't believe if they can't do it here, then they're not going to do it in Game 3.
Well, Baron, definitely the EU popular pick. Play for that late game and just blow up people. Similarly, you've got that Gwen, very much early aggression that's going to have to come out of Gankstars. They really need to start making some aggressive moves, and we've got Xenotech now on a Cruel. Last game he played a weapon power build. This time he has forced into a CP-centric Storm Guard banner, picked up first item. Tricky's going aggressive onto Araki. That's a lot of damage down onto Araki, but Tricky has to be careful. Here comes Xenotech into the lane, and they're going to look to try and find first blood here if Tricky oversteps. Has to make sure that he doesn't overstep a mark. Justman going to face check the bush. There's the Cruel. They've spotted him out, and they will be able to safely deal with Xenotech.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a difference when it comes to the crowd control factor. The last game compared to this game. I mean, Rect's not really going to have a lot right now. Rakizuro's not level 6. Xenotech not level 6 there as well. So kind of posturing up in the top. That was fine, but there really wasn't going to be much that come out of it unless there was a fantastic misstep out of Team Secret. But we do got a fountain now here, Rekt. He's gotten to that first item, Rakizuoro, 4 minutes come through, jungle intensifies, he gets that tension bow. I would definitely expect to see a little bit more aggressive play from them, especially when their lane is empty like this. But once Xenotech gets into an aftershock, because I think that's where that will be, that could be a big difference.
Team Secret trying to find a fight. Xenotech going to run straight onto Tricky. Yeah, that's a lot of damage down onto Tricky, but he will be able to walk away alive. Fountain still held onto by Justman, just in case they want to re-engage. Araki, he's all by himself, and Tricky smells danger. That's going to be the Fountain down onto Tricky. Araki doesn't quite take enough damage yet because Tricky hasn't completed a tier 3 item, but he is going to dive forward once more. Fountain comes out from Rekt. Tricky, he's been baited in, and it's going to be first blood for Araki. He gets away with it alive. Xenotech going to come in to try and find a second, but Justman not going to take it. In fact, I'm the Doom wants the kill. The kill he will have. That's going to be Xenotech falling a 1-for-1 in this fight.
A very important stun at the end there does relieve a lot of the pressure on top of Rekt. Raki coming back. He was off farming, picking up some health there from the Treants, but he's not going to be really able to clean up anything out in the fight. So 1-for-1 will remain as the smoke does kind of dissipate after that one. But hitting that level 6 kept Xeno alive just a little bit longer. Gets off that stun. That was a big factor for keeping Rekt very healthy in that one. So as you can see here from the replay, Rekt coming up, like Tricky had already dived Rakizuoro off to left at this side, but Tricky unfortunately just not as online as he wants to be, so Araki was able to bait that one through, and they were able to pick up the kill. Eventually Xeno did lose his life, but that bait, I mean, Tricky perhaps a little bit overestimating his ability here early on.
Yeah, he has enough damage, gold now to complete his Sorrow Blade, but without a tier 3 item to begin with, there's no way you take that fight against a Gwen. Just the early disparity between power of a Baron and Gwen is palpable. It is going to be a fight breaking out, it seems, here as they're looking to try and find Tricky. Gankstars, but Xenotech's taking a lot of damage. The Fountain to keep him alive, but Tricky, he has his Sorrow Blade. I'm the Doom dives in. That's going to be the stuff onto Xenotech. Where are they going to spin him out? They've already taken him down. That's going to be a kill for Tricky. Looking for a double as Rekt cannot escape. An ace for Team Secret.
Doom coming down to a sliver of health by the end of it, but he was in the front. He did the damage. He took the damage. Very importantly there. Tricky coming out smelling real good on that one. And he had also just picked up that Sora Blade, and you can see that level 5 infusion. He insta-popped it, and they picked up those kills. Way too much clumping up from Gankstars there.
They get a turret, they get a gold mine, and the gold, it just slingshots in their favor. 2,000 for Team Secret. Proactive early game with a Baron means that they are overdriving the ability to get Tricky to the late game sooner.
And that's just going to be what Team Secret need, because if they can get like 2.5, 3 items at the 11 to 12 minute mark, you are going to be in a fantastic situation for this Baron. Now, we saw a Baron earlier today as well, went 3 item 2 defensive, but if Tricky can just pull off a few more of these plays, then I think they're going to have the confidence to really go all out offensive here with Tricky. He'll have the boots, he'll have the Aegis, but 4 red offensive, having I'm the Doom to peel, having Just Man to peel. That could be a devastating combo for these guys.
Yeah, that's Aftershock now completed for I'm the Doom on this Grumpjaw. A huge power spike when he gets that first auto attack off after using his Hangry to get on top of someone. They are going to melt here. This next fight for Gankstars, they have to be very, very careful that they do not allow the Grumpjaw to get onto a key target.
Alright, so Gankstars 1 kill to 4. Very different if you take a snapshot of the previous game to this one. We did just pick up second item. Tricky went from not even having a tier 3 to winning a fight, getting a Sword Blade, an Infusion, and that breaking point all online. I'm the Doom picked up into the 2 item. You don't quite see the same level here on Xenotech. It's almost like night and day right now with the comps, and this Krull has just not been as effective.
Yeah, it's a CP utility Krull, not as hard hitting, more about sticking to a target and making sure that they are useless. When you apply your passive on your B, the weakness stacks to then reduce the amount of damage that person can output, then the Baron pick in the late game becomes not as great as it could be because the damage is reduced. But if Xenotech's not able to stay on top of Tricky, if Xenotech's not able to tank up the damage, the immense amount of damage that's coming out of I'm the Doom CP Krull right now, then none of that matters. Iron Cannon's going to come down. Team Secret are looking for a fight here, and there's been a bit of a split. Xenotech going to charge forward, trying to get on Tricky, but a bright forward stops him. Tricky dodges out that from Hell's Heart. They're looking for the kill to Xenotech, but I'm the Doom. He's going low. He falls. Gankstars, they're going to try and turn the fight, and Tricky is forced under his turret. Xenotech has to be careful, but Team Secret realistically cannot re-engage this fight. A 2 versus 3, they would have to blow someone up, and they're going to attempt to do it, looking for a Rocky. Can Tricky got the damage? No, he cannot. A mistake from Team Secret, and they lose Tricky for it. Just Man left alive, but he will find the returner onto Xenotech.
All right, those Lyra curveballs at the end hitting hard do get themselves a kill out of it, but I'm the Doom melted really fast. I think he took the ace from Arakizaru, and then Rek followed that up with that Versus Judgment, and he basically got locked up. He had nowhere to go, couldn't hit anything, went down. Tricky did look like he was able to return a lot of the damage. Again, kind of going in a bit far, looking for looking for the damage, but I'm the Doom finds the noms.
Rek's going to be nommed. I'm not sure I'm the Doom who really has the damage, but he's going to continue chasing here. Not quite landing the stutter stepping, but here comes Justman for the movement speed. Fountain used, Tricky with the jump jets in, looking to take the fight, and Rex will get dropped. I'm the Doom able to make a play, and now Xenotech, he's the one being focused down. Doom dives forward, and Doom finds the kill when it looks lost. Team Secret are found.
One team fight for another. Getting a sentry on that one. Probably going to get this gold mine down. Toot sweet here on top of things, but Team Secret, like, I'm the Doom, 100% facilitated that, made it happen. Rekt was too far forward. He was looking for scouting, he was looking for vision, but that far forward, especially with I'm the Doom, he just created such a lull in time where Rekt couldn't retreat. And even then, they finally find him here at the bush, right? But Rekt, again, like, he was slowed down enough. Tricky was able to catch up. Doom still on the front line, still getting these slows. The speed ups from Justman are enough for the double there on top of things.
And not only that, Arakizaru was out of energy the entirety of that engagement, which meant that he couldn't get involved. There was no way for him to actually come in and try and turn that story for Gankstars. Now with the gold miner taken, they're progressing their gold lead by 3,000. An Aftershock completed by Xenotech is just worlds apart in timing compared to I'm the Doom. He's on his tier 3 defense item, and Atlas, not only is it going to reduce the attack speed of Gwen, but maybe even more importantly, it's going to reduce the attack speed on Xenotech.
It's double Atlas if you look at Justman on top of things. Like, Xenotech still doesn't have it. Rekt still don't have it. If you need to Atlas anybody, it's going to be a Baron, and Baron picks up some crit to go with that red so far. He does have a tier 1 armor, but I'm really curious if that's going to evolve or if he's going to toss it later.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. I feel like 4 damage items will just put Tricky miles ahead. They're going for this turret here, looking to just hard commit. Jumps away, Red comes in, right forward, goes down in an ion cannon, ready to hit, but it's not going to hit on anything but the minion wave. This turret is low. This turret is dead. Team Secret find themselves even more gold.
All right, 7 kills up, but having those extra turrets in the bank has now made these guys 4,000 gold. That sentry is dead to rights. Not going to be even an attempted defense on that one. Finally, there we go, a tier 3 coming through. But again, you said worlds apart, right? I'm the Doom with the timings, and they've always been one step ahead of Xeno. And Xeno, unfortunately, 0-4. It's a 180 compared to that last matchup.
For anyone who watched yesterday's game's forecourt, they would have seen that Gankstars a lot of priority onto this Grumpjaw, and they just destroyed Tempo Storm with it. This Grumpjaw is going to be the key and the lock for this series. Both teams now have proven that they can play this hero to some great success, and it feels like coming into Game 3, no matter what the result is, Grumpjaw is going to be the center of the draft.
Yeah, it's if it's not that first ban potential, it's definitely going to be amongst the first pick. But Koshka has been the 2-for-2 ban from Team Secret. We saw Xenotech reckon on it earlier today, so who knows what we're going to be doing as they go back to the drafting board from this one. But we're setting up here for another fight. 13 minutes, not quite a crack in timing, but we are still looking for just a lot of positioning here. Team Secret are feeling very confident, very powerful. We've sold the armor from Tricky. He's looking for another monocle, and we got infusions across the board. Gankstars realize that. They say, we can't do anything about this right now. They have completely backed off.
Gwen's just not finding the damage necessary as we start moving towards a more late game stage for Tricky and his Baron. Once he gets that second Tyrant's Monocle online, then the crit that comes out of this Baron is going to be insane. They need to blow him up, and they're looking for an engage. Tricky gonna dive out, but a Rocky Throw just gets destroyed immediately. They swallow up Xenotech. Tricky laying down the kills. A double for him. The rookie with the triple kill on this phone, and Team Secret gonna start pushing the base.
All right, we got a series on our hands now, Dowsy, but 400 damage at a time. Tricky just eliminating the competition. Araki Zoro that far forward. He was buddy-buddy with Xenotech on the engage, but we don't have armor for you right there. What are you doing that far forward? Just gets chunked out. The triple hit from Tricky, just taking him down. You saw the swallow go up, and then Tricky just nothing left in the bank here from Gankstars. He's going to survive. He gets that triple, and he is now up 6-2 and 3, and you're going to be looking for his full build here in the next few minutes.
Yeah, that's just insane stuff. Aegis now completed for Tricky, which means that Xenotech is just not going to be a factor anymore. The reflex block, he can reflex it all. Team Secret, they're even starting up this Kraken. They put Tricky in the lane. Grumpjaw can solo it. He can solo it very, very easily. One of the tankiest junglers, and they may just convince Gankstars that the Kraken is only now just being started, but in fact, it's at half HP. Gankstars, they realize that even if they wanted to contest the Kraken, they would be likely running to their deaths.
Justman has no contraption, but there are scores of scout traps out and about. He is still continuing to pick them up at a very rapid pace here on top of things. The vision game, the kills, the momentum, it is all shifting to Team Secret, and they might be able to bring this one forward. Rekt has a ton of armor, but he's so far forward.
Yeah, they were looking for the engage, but now they're turning. Xenotech gonna get swallowed up. Rekt is just getting destroyed. Here comes Xenotech, nom nom nom, and spat on out straight into Tricky. He's gonna get another triple kill here. Hello, Team Secret, we see you. Let's get the Kraken onto that main crystal.
The Baron is the secret of Team Secret, and with this Kraken coming forward, this is GG, my friend. Gankstars have taken a loss, and this is now putting us into a minimum 4-game series, and the consistency factor, it's going to be called into question again here. Do Gankstars have what it takes to bring it back after such a dominant Game 1 and such a loss in Game 2?
A very big loss, but now we have to see if this is just going to be a repeat of Cloud9 versus SK. Yes, Cloud9 took that early lead, but SK stroked back into Game 2, and then Cloud9 said no more games here. NA is going to take this. Team Secret, man, a fantastic draft, a fantastic game, but now they need to hold on to this momentum. Let's throw it back to our analysts to break down that Team Secret win.
Hello, Team Secret. Nice to finally see you joining us in this one. What was that? What was the difference there coming on through? Because they look like very different teams to what we saw in Game 1.
I mean, I think it started in the draft, right?
Yeah.
Like, we initially were just not a fan of what Gankstars put together. Kroll A side, just such a risky pick. Gwen into Grumpjaw, Lyra, like, it's just a lot of, it's a lot of defense. It's a lot of the ability to heal back up that burst. So they kind of counterpicked themselves a little bit, I think, which is maybe rare for Gankstars. But once again, we talked about it. They're either on fire or perhaps underwhelming, and this is kind of a danger spot for them.
10-0 to 0-6 on Xenotech with this Krull. A very different Krull play style here in game number 2, but like you said, picking Krull on A side is super risky. Going for this Crystal utility Krull is super risky. Like, it's really fun and powerful in Blitz and in the Brawl modes, but it takes so long to be able to get to any point where you're even remotely effective in a regular game. That's why we don't see it that often.
And like we mentioned before this game, how this could just be, or in the draft of this game, sorry, keeping going with this Krull could be like trying to hold your cards close to your chest, right? Wanting to save your strategies. Surely this has to be a wake-up call for Gankstars. They can't just hold off any longer.
I mean, I would have to say, like, after Game 1 for Gankstars, they had to think Team Secret was just not all together, and I was actually very surprised by Team Secret's performance in this game because I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to come back and actually put something together. But Tricky on this Baron just absolutely went off, and Gankstars they changed everything about their play style in this game. It was like another team from their side.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to talk on, was how confident and comfortable Tricky looked on that Baron.
Yeah.
And the team as a whole even, they're very focused on keeping Tricky alive. There were 2 Crucibles that came out, one from I'm the Doom, one from Just Man, just to make sure that Tricky could be this hyper carry for Team Secret, and he stepped up.
And you'd see at the start of the fight, the Bright Bulwark would go down. They'd kind of just cluster up, like, you can't get onto him. Like, you're not like physically body blocking from the Baron. But we do actually have a replay of that game-winning moment from the side of Secret, and you'll be able to see the Baron in action here.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at this replay here, it's a lot of it is just Gankstars getting too clumped up. And you can kind of see they're fighting around this specific zone control. I'm the Doom, he eats Krull. We talked about this. If you take the Krull out of the fight, you're actually able to do severe damage. They weren't able to do it in Game 1. They turned around in Game 2 and executed.
And the other thing I wanted to point out was once Xenotech got spit out there, he got a single basic attack off, and that was from using the his A ability there onto the Grumpjaw. That was the only weakness stack he was able to put on. And it wasn't like he got blown up immediately after. It was just the trying to find the right target in that fight, even though it was a 2-on-3, just ended up kind of running around in a little circle for a moment there and having no effect.
Yeah.
So now that we're likely going to see Gankstars back over on this B side, is Krull still a factor, or do we think after that horrendous performance on it, it's just not going to be seen again?
I mean, he just showed us a great performance, too. It's just a matter of where you put it in your draft and while you're actually picking it up.
Pick.
Yeah,
essentially. It needs to be last pick. It needs to be in the right situation for it. But we're going to, again, have the Koshka Kestrel.
Yes.
And then Lyra, very likely Adagio. There it is. I'm wondering if at some point we may see Kestrel or Koshka get let through because of a team deciding to prioritize a healer as a ban instead.
Yeah.
But not yet.
No, not going to be seeing that just yet in this series. The Vox is going to be banned once again and now over towards Team Secret. And those first 2 picks and bans have been pretty much standard throughout this series. Black Feather going to be taken away once again. Secret banning that one. And now we get to the interesting part of the draft, right? The bit that's not really pre-packaged. This could go anyway. It
could go anyway. And both teams right now have a very specific strategy they're not straying away from too much until now. So the Baron pickup comes through. Because Lyra's not available, this is actually a pretty powerhouse pickup Gankstars wants to take away. And they're not going to be able to run double heal. It's probably not Krull either in this case.
This is Araki Zoro calling out Tricky right now. He's saying, you think that was a good Baron? Let me show you how to play Baron.
Yeah, we'll see if he can. They played Baron a few times in the regular season, 4 games on it. Only 1 victory, unfortunately, but most of those losses, I believe, were against Team Solo Mid, which that kind of skews things a little bit
sometimes
against Gankstars. So Team Secret, what are they going to do to answer this Baron, though? Obviously, they know how to play it, do they know how to play against it?
Well, there are still things like Grumpjaw available. Do we think that, and Glaive as well, do we think that we need to get some dive in this composition to try and deal with that backline threat?
I definitely think dive is always a plus. If they were willing to risk it, I would love to see a Taka pick come through here. Taka into Baron and Adagio specifically is actually very strong, but if they're not into the dive with Lyra, if they want to play more poke, they could put Samuel in. They do the Grumpjaw pick, though, so this kind of didn't... I wasn't in love with the way Grumpjaw played out in Game 1. I think Game 2 it was strong, but it was strong because of some draft errors from Gankstars. But they're just really kind of heavily relying on this sort of double front line. Let's protect Tricky because the carry strategy from I'm the Doom just didn't quite look as strong.
I'm a little surprised that they didn't decide to go for that Taka
Ringo.
because
Ringo.
Taka is a pick that they have played quite a bit. But yeah, Ringo gonna come through here. This is another one that Tricky actually did play quite a fair bit of and played quite well during the regular season, so it's still a comfort pick for him. I'm curious to see how it's going to match up against that Baron, though.
Quite a late game pick once again with that Ringo. Once you can max out that attack speed and really get chunking on through those health bars, we'll see whether they're going to be able to get to that late stage in the game once again. And how well that's actually going to match up against Baron if we do get to the late stage of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely still a lot of options open for them here. I think Glaive potentially could come into play here really easily, able to help peel for your Baron, able to knock Ringo into positions they don't want him into. We don't know yet still if this is going to be kind of a poke strategy from Gankstars. Obviously, Samuel's still available. I don't love Samuel into Grumpjaw and Lyra, though, because you're able to sustain off of it. So obviously, Gankstars taking a bit of their bonus time here trying to figure out how to close this equation. Ringo may be a little bit of a surprise for them just straight off the bat, even though it was somewhat successful for Team Secret, but it's risky. I mean, if this Baron takes off, he will control... There's the Glaive. So I actually like that pick. I think it's perhaps the safest of options left for Gankstars in this draft.
Yeah, pretty much. I was figuring it would be Glaive or maybe Lance for that final pick, so I definitely prefer the Glaive in this instance. See if it'll be enough, though.
Yeah, absolutely. The question is it going to be enough? 1-1 in this series for the second time today now. We'll see if EU can keep things up or whether it's going to be going back the way of NA once again. Very quickly, I want to ask you guys, who do you think is going to be taking this one? Fuji, we'll start with you.
I'd have to lean still towards Gankstars. Their draft is much better this time, so I think they still have that powerhouse potential.
Bacon?
Yeah, I'm going to say Gankstars, but it's only by a slim margin this time.
Okay, so still going towards Gankstars, but they're starting to be a little bit persuaded towards the EU side of things. Let's pass it over to our casters and head into game number 3.
Baron is a pick forecourt that has been played many, many times over in Europe, but if there's one carry that plays Baron in NA, that guy is called Araki Zoro. Gankstars bring it out here. They pair it, of course, with that Glaive, and now we'll have to see if Team Secret can carry their momentum over into Game 3.
Yeah, and the Crystal Glaive, it just doesn't really feel like a Xenotech kind of strat, at least not in the last few weeks of the split at any rate. But, where's the Alpha? Where's the Rona? Alpha's, I still believe, not even played out this tournament yet, but the CP Glaive is definitely going to be able to do the peel job, right? We got that Glaive, and that Baron, like, Araki is no joke to it. Tricky might have had a fantastic situation game number 2 there, but I think Araki could actually still answer this.
I feel like it is a game of protection here. Both these junglers, I'm the Doom and Xenotech, head-to-head to keep either Tricky or Araki Zoro alive. Game 3 of this series underway now for court, and I don't know where we're going with it. All I know is that you have to buckle your seatbelts because we're in for a ride.
So once again, just like in game number 2, I'm not really expecting a lot from the early. Like, Tricky is going to be wanting us to stay up in that lane. Of course, Araki Zoro doesn't want to miss out any farm on top of it, but look what Tricky has in his inventory early on.
Is going to be armor for himself.
He just used it. It was a minion candy.
Oh, okay. It was too late. I'm sorry.
I know, no, you're right. I did not expect it to be popped this quickly. But no, he is going to be pushing out at least a bit early, and we'll have to see what that does for him. But this... It's a little bit more of a jumbled message in my eyes.
But it puts the pressure onto Gankstars. They need to now hold that wave at their turret, and Team Secret get an opportunity now to push into this mid of the jungle, contest this Elder Tree, and Gankstars are not interested in stealing this away. They're going to take it for themselves. We'll have to see which one of these guys it goes over to on Team Secret, but it's just an early aggressive play so they can look to make more moves around the map.
Okay, but if they felt like they needed to do all 3 in order to do that, I mean, the candies, did slight work. I'm not entirely convinced at the cost for that one, but at the same time, it's just an Elder Trade. It's not going to be the end of the world.
Minion wave being taken down here. I'm the Doom comes up just in case there was a bit of over-aggression coming out of Gankstars in that level 1. But like you mentioned, not really expecting the massive amount of early aggression. Perhaps a gank here and there from Xenotech and I'm the Doom, but it's this late game battle we're looking at.
If it's going to be anybody, it should be Xenotech coming up to lane, using the Afterburn, knocking him indirect, who has a slow ready, and it should be on Tricky. Tricky has absolutely nothing for his feet. If he does get knocked forward, it's very likely going to be a death. Of course, they do have to go through Justman for that, one of the best protectors that you can get for the lane, but other than that, it should just be, you know, Farm City for a little bit here.
Farm City as Xenotech takes down that Elder Tree, and Tricky picking up a bit of early damage, as does Araki Heavy Steel versus the Six Sins and that Swift Shooter. Both junglers pretty much matching each other, apart from the fact that I'm the Doom investing into some visions. So Team Secret weary that they need to have eyes on Xenotech for this reason alone. Tricky, whoa, just about walks away, fire burning, but he will be fine for now. Find perhaps an under-exaggeration of what he really is, getting that heal from Justman, but Gankstars are not going to look for a re-engage.
It was an attempt, but again, Justman, one of the better protectors here early on, does have the heals. Tricky is able to hit his Twirling Silver, gets out to safety. It does look like, though, that Tricky might be going for attention early. If it's not attention, we've seen Shivs here before as well, but usually a Ringo would be bringing forward something like the Sorrow Blade.
You would expect so, and I think that he still will. It's more the fact that he did invest into that minion candy early, so the only weapon item he could bring was that weapon blade. So getting the Swifter Shooter for the attack speed. Here comes I'm the Doom, wrecked in trouble, trying to get away from this one. The damage, Tricky's about to lay it down. Achilles shot at first! Blood to I'm the Doom, runs into Xenotech. They're going to slap each other silly, but will we have another fight is the question. Xenotech going to group up, and everyone goes back to their day job.
Something of a bit of an unexpected first blood, but Team Secret have really upped their execution. I mean, game number 1, we saw them having a lot of problems even finding a kill in their matchup, but game 2, they turn around. Now game 3, they are really showing that they are in control. They're no longer letting the nerves get the better of them. Might be the first time up on stage, but the execution is definitely ramped up quite a bit.
Execution indeed. Early aggression. Early game is what we've praised North American teams for this entire VG8 season forecourt. And it was the big question in this big NAEU, the Unified Western Live Championship. How do these play styles come into effect? Will early game trump a late game? Well, we saw Team Secret play a very late game composition, but they had a lot of early game aggression paired with it.
Okay, I'm the Doom's also now finished into that Storm Crown. If they find kills here, then that's going to be a sorry state for the jungle here for Xeno.
Take turrets, take gold miner. Xenotech looking to get straight on over. Oh, this is terrible timing. I'm the Doom just went for the invade. Tricky trying to get away. Justman now on the front line, but the damage is there. Justman very low. Wreck trying to lay it down. Xenotech with an afterburn in 4 seconds, but the sigil may just be enough to get them to safety. Tricky purchases Sorrow Blade on his way. You know what? We're at the shop mine as well. And luckily for Team Secret, they just about avoid death.
that engage moment was a really big just kind of uh-oh moment because the two jugglers passed each other as they went their separate ways. But even with the 3v2, Gankstars, like, they just don't have the early game power to make this happen. They don't have the cooldowns or that burst from Xeno. And Araki, I mean, he's going to take a while to come online. He doesn't have that tier 3 yet. He does have the cash, just hasn't had the opportunity.
Look at that damage from the Sorrow Blade. Just a couple of auto attacks onto Araki, and if I'm the Doom's paired onto that, then Araki Zoro is going to be feeling it for sure. You are right. Glaive early needs that aftershock. That's when we're going to start to see a lot of damage come out of Xenotech. The burst potential if they catch Tricky out in a very similar way.
All right, so Tricky, big first item, has now an infusion on top of it. So Tricky, if we are going to be pushing forward again, I would really expect to see that right now. He's saying, I got that tier 3 item, I have this infusion ready to go. I'm the Doom, has had that first item. He's level 6 now. We can get stuffed at this point.
Xenotech also just picked up that aftershock we were talking about, so a bit of an item spike for the Glaive, but he has used his afterburn. That's going to be wrecked. Not being swallowed up. Xenotech afterburns him out immediately, so it will not be the ultimate successful there by I'm the Doom.
That was a fantastic peel play right there from Xenotech. Hands down, just kept that fight from going anywhere near the negative zone on that. I'm the Doom, 28 seconds left on that cooldown, so we're not going to have quite the same engage, but as soon as the engage also stopped, Tricky, he held off on that infusion. He still has it ready to go. So it's a little bit more hidden, but he still has it as an opportunity here.
I'm the Doom, jumps over, gets the tree end for himself. It is going to be a bit of damage flying out. Will they just go for Tricky? They know he's isolated in the lane, but Tricky has the heads up enough to be able to just walk away, make sure he doesn't get caught here. And that's really important for this Ringo. As he does not have the reflex block yet, he cannot avoid being knocked away by the afterburn yet. It is something he's going to have to prioritize, but his inventory space is full. Holding on to that weapon infused, got the potion in his back pocket. It's just something that he can't quite afford to pick up yet.
Okay, so level 6 is ready to go. Just man not having it, but we got the boots up, we have the stuffed here, and we still have that infusion available to Tricky. Now, it looks like Xenotech's going to match at least with the crystal. Does have that aftershock. That's something I'm the Doom is lacking, so it's a little bit more utility versus some damage here, but both sides ready.
Tricky completely out of position, now having to run away. He is able to get away for now, but Xenotech takes a lot of damage in the process. Gankstars looking for the re-engage, but Team Secret immediately back out. Hellfire Brew flies out. That's a bit of damage going on to everyone as it starts to burn away, but it is not going to be a kill just yet. Tricky, very lucky that he wasn't bursted down.
It's struggling. We are struggling for Gankstars to actually make that kill happen, despite the fact that they've found Tricky many times.
They found him again, but they're going straight onto Xenotech. That's going to be the stuff. That's going to be Xenotech.
Oh, wrecked!
Oh, wrecked! Big versus Judgment. That's another kill going on over to Gankstars, and they're going to find an ace for themselves. A double kill comes through for Wrecked.
Tricky does get jumped, but Wrecked made those plays happen right there. MVP for this early on, and that's going to be finally a little bit of luck as Gankstars will get those kills. So now they pushing forward. They had that minion buffed wave here with that ace, and now Team Secret, they're down an ace, and they're also going to be down that turret. This is kind of bringing Gankstars into the lead here.
Yeah, Verse of Judgment, here it is, the replay on your screens. Just look at it just blow up, and the stuns. It was just perfect for Gankstars to be able to take that fight for themselves. And Justman, he had the portal, but there was just no escaping Gankstars after that.
That was just really phenomenal reflexes there from Wrecked. Yeah, I'm the Doom with the stuff. Could have been actually the game-ending play, but Wrecked really defeating that one. So Xenotech's second item ready to go. More aggression coming out of Secret. They have that stuff ready to go, but we don't have a lot of the support here.
Xenotech jumps over the wall. Tricky taking a lot of damage. That's going to be stuff coming out. They've got Xenotech in their bellies. Araki going to get stunned down, taken out, but Tricky goes down as well. Xenotech finds the returner. I'm the Doom now has to find the damage. Looking for Xenotech. He's got Afterburn available. Can get out of this one if he wants to, and he will indeed use it. But this is Wrecked left to his own devices. It should just be a formality at this point, and a formality that I'm the Doom is no stranger to. A 2-for-1 for Team Secret.
But they don't get the ace. That's the big thing there from Gankstars. Still, Team Secret, I didn't think that they had enough cooldowns in order to make that one happen, but I'm the Doom just really sticking to the targets. He is the one making the plays, and the stuffs are working out really nicely, I feel, on that one. The immense gold payout goes through, 300 gold back. Now Team Secret take control of that gold lead again. And yeah, Tricky. Not only does he have that Sora into now that Shiv, we were looking for that earlier on, but now on top of that reflex block. So Tricky's starting to become something of a bigger threat as time goes on.
Very interesting purchase. You mentioned the Poison Shiv. It's something that is sometimes seen on Ringo. It's purely right here to cut down the healing that Wrecked can put out onto Araki Zoro. Cuts down the healing by 33%, the mortal wounds. Just try to make the job a little bit easier for Team Secret. Make sure that their healer is outputting maximum compared to Wrecked. Wrecked's going aggressive here. He is looking perhaps for an engage. I'm the Doom just hiding out, but the scout trap in that top bush just means that Gankstars are fully aware of Team Secret's intentions.
Secret might have been setting up for the gank, but here's the actual fight.
Yeah, Tricky. He's out of danger. Xenotech looking to dive on forward. That's going to be a Verse of Judgment, but it's swallowed up by I'm the Doom. No damage comes out, and now Xenotech the main target. Wrecked gets spit out, Fountain flies out, and they're turning onto I'm the Doom, focusing down this Grubjaw. That's a kill for Araki. He jump jets forward, looking for a second onto Tricky, and the second gonna come through a double, but he dies to the Sentry. Justman, can he do the damage? Sentry doing the work. He's got the heal, he's got the speed, and Gankstars Gankstars cannot go for that ace.
Picking up the kills was great, but Gankstars nearly get an ace to a sentry combo with Just Man. That would have been just turning the fight on its head right there. But Gankstars, through all of that, wrecked with that Versa Judgment. We saw the response of getting swallowed up there by I'm the Doom. And during that, Arakizor moves down to the shop, buys an infusion mid-fight. They then turn around, Rek comes out, they get the kill on top of I'm the Doom because he is that front liner, and then they find Tricky. But if they had lost out to that Crystal Sentry, that would have been devastating.
Have to be careful of the Crystal Sentries here in EU. It may be a meme, but it's starting to become a little bit of a reality. In North America, they do have to respect our European neutral objectives. Why not? Let's say it. Team Secret, they have a gold lead. It's 1,000, but it means literally nothing. These fights are coming down to a wire, and any team can take them.
All right, we have a lot of armor across the board. We got the double Atlas ready to go for the Gankstars, but we have double Atlas again on Team Secret. On top of that, Tricky has gone into the double defensives here as well. He is going to be looking for some crit at the end of it, but that is going to be really hard to chew through.
Right, Bulwark goes down there by Justman to make sure that Xenotech cannot aggress onto Tricky. He has 1,800 gold in his inventory, and Team Secret are going to want to pay a visit to a shop. Gankstars, realizing that Team Secret weren't wanting to fight, going to start up this gold miner here, look to try and equalize the gold lead, and if they grab it, they will in fact go into the gold lead. Just about, not quite, maybe not. It is very close. That's the factor. We are pretty much split hairs at this point.
Okay, so Iraqi with that gold miner under their belt gets into 3 red here himself. Tricky, I do believe, is going to be finishing off into the rest of his tier 3 on top. So the carries, at least on the weapon side, are actually just very even. We do, again, have a lot more armor on the side of Team Secret. The double Aegis and then that coat of plates there for Tricky on top of things. Iraqi Zoro, if he doesn't go 4 red, I'm not sure he's going to be able to match Tricky.
They're going to go for red. This is just the game of carries. Tornado Trigger versus Poison Shift. That means Araki Zoro will have more crit available to him. Going to build into that Aegis next, it seems, so he can free up one of those inventory spots. Tricky, though, maybe he doesn't go down it. He has the armor. He could go into a metal jacket for himself if he so pleases. But how then do you deal with the damage from Araki Zoro? That's the question. Hellfire Brew goes out. It doesn't mean anything when Rex can instantly just heal it up. Looks like Team Secret are wanting to push this turret. Yeah, that's right. Turret for Team Secret at 14 minutes. That is a risky maneuver when Gankstars are ready.
Okay, 6-5. As you said, the turret actually still standing there. We're going to be going into Kraken territory here soon. Whoever wins that fight, whoever wins that Kraken, has a lot of infrastructure to chew through.
Xenotech with the afterburn. Looks like Team Secret going to use this opportunity to dive on in. Looking for Araki Zoro. Tricky on the front line. Araki goes very low. But they're turning the fight. Ion Cannon almost snorts away. That's the fountain coming out from Rex. And it looks like Gankstars want to turn it. Tricky afterburn away. I'm the Doom. Fights the kill to Araki Zoro. Tricky, he's stunner stepping like a god. He's still alive. I'm the Doom. A double kill for him, and Rex now is all by himself, and I'm the Doom wants to find that triple kill from Exit. Team Secret by the end.
I'm the Doom just making big plays once again. Rex denied his Versa Judgment. That fountain came out so late, but Xenotech really did go for a tunnel vision on top of Tricky, and he did not get a good angle on that knockback. That really did split up the offensive of Gankstars, and I'm the Doom picking up a triple, just picking them off one at a time. That could not have gone worse for Gankstars, especially with the timing here, because that is going to be not only a turret from the Ace Buff minions pushing, but a Kraken on top of it.
Wow, Kraken comes out, and that is a disaster now for Gankstars. They have to defend, they have to fight around it forecourt. They cannot allow this Kraken to push for Team Secret, or else the base is going to start dropping, the gold is going to start mounting, and Team Secret may just find themselves an item ahead, ready to take another fight.
We got some menacing music in the background, and I feel that really does sum up Gankstars' situation right now. Team Secret are really just on the warpath right here as Tricky continues to move forward. All eyes are going to be on I'm the Doom. If they get another stuffed, this could easily go into multiple turrets.
Hellfire Brew goes out, the Iron Cannon lands onto the Kraken, but the first turret has gone down and Team Secret are going to start pushing onto the second one. Kraken now at half HP. Let's see if it has the damage to do the work. I'm the Doom. He swallows up Araki Zoro. That's going to be wreck diving on in. Araki Zoro's on the backline, dives forward with the jump jets, but the damage is being traded onto I'm the Doom. Tricky blocks up the stun, and Rex going very low here. Turret does 4. Burst of Judgment goes out. Xenotech trying to find a root, trying to find a stun. It may just be enough. No! Araki goes down. Xenotech, he doesn't have energy. He goes down as well. This could be it. Team Secret with the Kraken pushing. It will fall down, but Rex, he will fall with the Kraken as well, as Tricky will go in. I'm the Doom spits him out. An ace for Team Secret. And now the turret's going down here. This is going to be Team Secret taking lead for court. 2-1. They take the turrets down, and Gankstars cannot stop them.
Nope, they're not even going to get an attempt here. Araki Zoro might be able to jump forward, but there's no way he can 3v1. The crystal is down, and the tunnel vision has been absolutely real. Xenotech and this Glaive, multiple times, multiple fights at the end, just not able to perform the angle, not able to perform really the kill potential, and Araki just unfortunately left to his own devices just goes down too many times.
This rookie, Tricky on the stage. Look at Justman, so happy. Tricky, he's feeling it as well. Team Secret, they've taken series lead here. One more game, and they will find themselves in the semis tomorrow, and they are now looking to do just that. Celebrations all around, but don't celebrate too early. There's still a rocky road to traverse. Analysts, that was an excellent game, so let's hear from ya.
Thank you very much, guys. What a game coming out from Team Secret, the European team showing up. Honestly, I don't know where this series is going to go from here, because we've seen very different versions of both teams, but Gankstars, they seem to be falling apart just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely did not look comfortable on their own heroes in this game. I mean, Araki Zoro, there were multiple times that we saw Araki Zoro jump in with the jump jets into the middle of your opponents. That is the last spot you want to be as a Baron. You're supposed to use the jump jets to jump out of the middle of your opponents. And just mistakes like that, that's what costs you games. That's what gets you behind in a series.
And just look at the score for I'm the Doom right there. 7-2-3 on the Grumpjaw.
Yeah, I mean, this front line is really working out for him. Like, we went with the Celeste earlier, was definitely didn't feel comfortable there, but this Grumpjaw, like, this has to be something Gankstars thinks a lot about moving forward. He is performing over and over again on it, and just a lot of overestimation perhaps coming out of Gankstars here. We're just not seeing Barons from North America really hit the mark. Tricky is the only one so far this tournament that's really shown what Baron can do.
All right, well, we do actually have a replay of the first ace that Secret managed to pull themselves in that game. So, Bacon, do you want to run us through this one?
Yeah, this was an incredibly exciting moment for Team Secret. And again, just keep your eyes on what's going on with the Baron. Just getting melted on the back lines. This time his positioning was good, but he's not able to be involved. And then once the Fountain of Renewal comes out, too far away to be re-engaged. The positioning was key all game long. You have to know, you have to be communicating as a team. I have Fountain still available, so stay here and keep fighting. But instead, they backed off completely and got caught as a result.
There was something really critical about that specific ace, too. When Xenotech went in for the afterburn on Ringo, he actually did not have enough energy to use Twisted Stroke immediately after the engage. If he could have killed Tricky with that combo with the Aftershock proc, he probably would have won the team fight for them, but just not really on top of it.
And at that moment, Tricky survives on, like, what, 11 HP or something ridiculous like that. So had he had the energy, that would have been a one fight for Gankstars and could very well be a different result in this entire game. But just really quickly before we get into the draft, we've been researching a little bit of statistics during that one. Bacon, do you want to give us some info here?
So we were curious about when the international history of Europe, and we've talked a lot about how no European team has won a series against North America. We found out that in international tournaments, Europe has never won a game against North America until today. So Europe as a region has definitely been stepping up. The gap is closing, and now Team Secret may be on the verge of taking that first series.
They've also never been up in a series, and right now, in international tournaments, excluding the Battle of the Atlantic, because that was a show match.
That was a show match, not a tournament.
50% of European international tournament wins in terms of games belong to this Team Secret team at this specific tournament. That is an insane statistic.
Which, if you want to include the Battle of the Atlantic show match, those were all belong to Team Secret as well, those 2 victories. So that just makes it even more impressive what Team Secret has done historically and are doing here today. But we're already four selections into this draft.
And importantly as well, they aren't the same selections as what we've been seeing. The Kestrel still banned, Koshka still banned, but Grumpjaw and Lance instead of these healers.
Yeah, I think going for the Grumpjaw pick here for Gankstars is pretty smart because I actually think Team Secret would consider first picking it and forcing a Lyra ban to get her later down the road if she is left open. So I like a little bit of this adaptation here. Team Secret is really performing with this front line, and Tricky, he's kind of the rookie, right? He's showing up and being up 2 against Iraqi Zora, who's the veteran player. He's got to be feeling really good going into potentially series match point for them.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for this Lance to come out from Team Secret. This was their most played hero throughout the regular season. They picked this hero in, I believe it was like 28 games, no, 20. It was 20 games during the regular season, almost half of their games they played, and they had a 65% win rate with him. Like, that's one of the few teams to have a winning record with Lance, let alone to have it that high. So now they're finally getting to these comfort picks. This is looking really good for Team Secret thus far.
Yeah, and this, I mean, Lance and Blackfeather go hand in hand. You want to be going in together on that one. How do you feel Gankstars have to react to this heavy melee composition?
I definitely think that with Grumpjaw, you can definitely flex him into the captain position. He can be in your jungle. So right now they're going to try to structure either a poke composition to really pressure Blackfeather or force him into the jungle. If you get things like Samuel, if you get things that have good rotation power, it's really hard for Blackfeather to farm efficiently in that lane.
How weird does it feel to see Adagio pick this far down the draft?
I was about to say it. Like, just the fact that Lyra was just banned there and not picked up means that it's very likely going to be the grab for Gankstars. And you can see overall on the, including the regular season, both regions, and the Unified Championship, Adagio 56.56 win ratio. But for Gankstars specifically, it's sitting at pretty much mirroring that 53.33 during the regular season for them. So Vox liking the Vox pick, but there's that Baron.
I don't know if you guys can hear it through the mics, but the crowd here is losing their minds, and that is going to be an EU Baron once again, very quickly, because we've got to get into this game ASAP. How do we feel this draft has gone? We'll start with you, Fuji.
I might have to hype on the Team Secret hype train here because I like the fact that Tricky's on Baron again, and he showed what he could do, so I'm going for Team Secret.
I like the fact that Tricky's on Baron, but I also like the fact that Iraqi Zoro is not playing a hero that he has a terrible win record on recently, so I'm still going to go ahead and stick with the NA Gankstars.
Okay, we have a divided desk on this one. Can Europe finally win a series against America? This is their opportunity. Let's pass it to the casters to find out.
Fuji's on Europe's side forecourt. He's predicted a Team Secret. And he winked to the camera. That just pretty much seals it. We've got the Fuji charm on our tables. Baron for Tricky. But it is a very different Baron composition. One that is very hard to execute. Gankstars, they have a little bit more of a easier win condition as far as that's concerned.
I tried to give Fuji the stink eye from over here, but he wasn't paying attention. But at the same time, you are right about the Baron comp. The protection level is not really nearly the same. Like the Grumpjaw, we talked about this game too, right? Grumpjaw is going to be a focus on this one. Game 3 comes through, all of a sudden Europe is up 2-1, and a Grumpjaw first pick here from Gankstars. Like the Lyra, nowhere to be seen here either because it does get banned out. So I have doubts about the Baron, not just because it's Europe, but just because I'm not sure Lance can do the peel that he needs to.
Definitely a strong peeling hero. Many ways to apply the CC and make sure that people stay away. The Blackfeather, I feel, here for I'm the Doom, I assume it's going to, it has to be I'm the Doom taking it away. It's going to be more of a distraction element. If he can jump onto Vox, if he can make sure that actually Gankstars, their focus is the Blackfeather rather than the Baron, then maybe Team Secret have an opportunity where they don't have to play around healing the Baron, but more they're playing around jumping Gankstars immediately. Either way, I'm sure we need to just get into this game and find out. So let's get into it. Team Secret 2-1 up, game 4. And one away for Team Secret to possibly be the first European team to take out NA.
It's certainly shaping up nicely for them, but never say never by the time all this is said and done here, Dowsy. So Gankstars 3-man invade early on. This is our first Vox of the series. It has been pretty much on permaban status, and now coming into this one, I actually expected Secret to be the ones to pick it up, but Iraqi, just like what Bacon said, he has a much better win rate with a Vox over a Baron.
Yeah, and that's a huge statistic that Gankstars, we kind of had a bit of chat with them, and they said they don't really care about comfort picks here for court. They will play whatever they feel is necessary to take a win. Well, maybe we are falling back to a bit more of a comfort pick, a pick that Gankstars used to great success during their seasonal play to find wins. What I do know is that Xenotech yesterday gave me heart palpitations with his Grumpjaw. So if you think I'm the Doom is the bee's knees as far as this series is concerned, then perhaps just wait a second to see what Xenotech can do.
Yeah, if you weren't watching yesterday, he put out an amazing performance. Grumpjaw really did become the focus of that series, just like it has become the focus of this one on top of it. And, we started off actually really strong with Xenotech, right? He brought out that Crow, got them that very convincing win, but Gankstars kind of fell down a little bit down the hill on that. So Xenotech, it really is going to come down to what Rek can do, what Xenotech can do. Rek got eaten so many times during a Versus Judgment, so the Verse, just by itself, not going to get shut down nearly as easily this round. I mean, that can really put a lot more power direct as well.
Team Secret have many ways to take fights early. Justman with a prediction impale. Wasn't so sure if that mustache bush was occupied, so we decided let's just use the cooldown. I'm the Doom looking to take away this Elder Treant, but Xenotech will secure it. Now he has the healing, and I'm the Doom has to be careful. Rekt, he's coming around the corner as well, and he gets buffed up. I'm the Doom with a shield, but is the shield enough? Araki's always going to get the cutoff, and first blood, it's Gankstars.
Just staying on top of him right there. Xenotech just not letting go. He's like a dog with a bone, but Rekt coming down and applying the fire.
That's an impale. That's a lot of damage. Araki getting the heal. They're trying to turn straight onto Justman. Tricky just being ignored here. Justman has no cooldowns, so there's no way Team Secret can re-engage that fight for core. An attempt by Team Secret to try and get something here. Xenotech is actually invading, but the healing this time goes to I'm the Doom. That is crucial to try and keep Xenotech out of this one. He's going very low. Araki coming in very low on energy as well, and perhaps a lot of respect shown, maybe too much. An impale onto Rekt. That's looking like a kill, and it is. I'm the Doom strikes back. He's looking for another point. Boots pop. Xenotech the focus. Here comes Tricky as well. Team Secret, you do not steal jungle from us. A double for Doom. And now Araki to try and escape. The on point not in range. So Team Secret, they're not going to chase a dog who's got its tail between its legs. They're going to just try and steal as much farm away as possible.
Xenotech really thinking that round 2 would go their way there as well. But just like we saw a 3-man collapse from Gankstars, Team Secret make that rotation happen. Get those 2 kills. And really, like, I'm the Doom, Justman, they're going to have a bit of power when it comes to these jungle fights, especially once we hit level 6 there for I'm the Doom on top of things, because he will have that barrel roll. But Justman absolutely adores playing around in these corridors, in these jungles, lots of walls for the Githians. And Rekt, I mean, he got hit by that impale early on, and he looked like he was trying to make an escape, but there was going to be a Githian there anyways. It's like, there was just so much power to the comp there of Team Secret.
That's going to be a Storm Crown now completed here for Xenotech. Bit of a cooldown burst as well as the true damage that comes through as well. Fountain there for Justman as well. I'm the Doom hasn't quite completed his first item, but we'll have to see where he does go with that. It's looking like it may just be a Shatter Glass for I'm the Doom. Make sure those on points are just replicating his favorite ability, the Glimmer Shot of Kestrel. Team Secret, a lot of early aggression as Tricky dives forward, but here comes Xenotech around the corner, and Team Secret, they're pushed right on up. Giffian will knock Xenotech out, but he wants I'm the Doom, and I'm the Doom's going very low. Fountain pop, he gets the hill, they're diving forward, Tricky goes in, Araki, one more auto attack is necessary, and that will take Araki down. Xenotech just about escapes, but Team Secret turn that fight around.
Tunnel vision. That's a lot of the word of the day in this series, especially these last 2 games. But Xeno does bring down Doom low, but if you can't get that kill, there's no way you can kite through it. Oh my goodness!
What was that? an Impale to secure the kill. Team Secret, they are hungry for this win forecourt, and Gankstars, they are struggling to hold on in this early game.
All right, so if I'm the Doom does go into that Shatter Glass, I really think that the momentum carrying them forward here could actually make that happen. And that means Tricky will have that Sora Blade. I'm the Doom into a Shatter Glass. All of a sudden, big upfront damage. And if you land the Impale, if you fight in these quarters, Adjustment gets a Githian, you're just a sitting duck for that damage.
And right now, with I'm the Doom rounding that corner for the Shadow Glass, you just have to feel that the item spike that has just been unlocked here for Team Secret is so huge. Xenotech, he is not quite getting towards that Aftershock. In fact, he's going into armor against a Baron in his early game. A lot of respect being shown to Tricky, who's just awakened here on the stage.
All right, so if Xeno goes into that early Atlas, he is really making sure that he's just a frontliner. Like, a lot of this damage is going to be relying on top of Araki Zoro, who is into the weapon, but it looks like more sustain, not rather big damage. Like, there's no Sora Blade here yet. If he does go into the double sustain, I fear for Gankstars.
Xenotech, level 6, stuff unlocked. It's an entirely new story when there's a man out of the fight. The good thing about having a Black Feather on your team is that he is so mobile and so hard to swallow. Just Man, he can knock you out of the Grumpjaw's belly, but not if he's the one swallowed up. Here comes the engager, Githian War. That disengaged the fight. They're going back in. It's going to be Just Man swallowed up, but Xenotech will drop him as Tricky takes down Xenotech. Araki Zoro runs away. Just Man not finding the Impale just yet, but it's still onto that Treant, means that there's no way Gankstars can stick around, and perhaps a turret will be taken for Team Secret.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication there with Xenotech and the stuff on that, but into that 3v1 situation, he was basically more or less just left to die at that point, and the damage is really stacking up. Secret had 2 infusions on that fight as well.
Minion candy as well. The turret stood no chance. The gold is stacking up for Team Secret as they round the tri-bush corner. Here's the replay of that fight forecourt.
Yeah, and just like so far forward, you cannot keep running blindly into Tricky like this. Xenotech goes one way, Rekt has already made his exit onto the fight, and Araki Zoro just going to take that cue and make an exit left, but just split up and not finding these targets.
Team Secret, man, they are feeling so comfortable, so confident. They have the vision. They start the gold miner. I wonder if they're really wanting the gold payout or more just trying to bait Gankstars into a fight. It's going to be a 50-50 for this as Xenotech dives forward, but it's secured by Just Man. A double Impale. Araki, he's rooted, but a silence comes through. Xenotech, he swallows up Tricky, gets knocked down, and that's going to be Xenotech falling. Tricky lays down the herd. Jump Jet's about to come up as he goes over the wall. He's by himself. Crystal Sentry is doing the work, but Araki has to get the damage down. Oh, Vestive Judgment knocked away. The Githian Wall stops Rekt from laying that one down, but the Crystal Sentry's doing work. Araki Zoro going in, trying to find a kill. Just Man, he is so low as his Doom. Oh, Tricky tries to find the kill, but it's just a shutdown going over to Araki.
It's just like you said, those EU sentries really doing a lot of work, kind of saving the bacon right there of Gankstars. And Araki, no fear at the end, finally does get a bit of luck, but we are still looking pretty sore in this of game number 4 right now, because Team Secret are still the ones aggressing. They're still the ones making the plays. Xenotech is still going down so quickly, and if he's not going to finish off into that Atlas, he is going to be going more into damage. Like, we're looking at something like 10, 11 minutes for just the duo of the cooldown reduction online.
Many things have been said about Team Secret during their European VG8 split. Mainly this roster they brought to the Unified Western Live Championship, a Leonless roster once more, but perhaps the best Leonless roster that a team could have brought. Tricky and I'm the Doom have just been making the plays this series so far, and Just Man being that consistent member for the team. They are looking to make Mowgli proud.
Like, this whole series really was a big showcase of Team Secret just kind of evolving, right? They finally get a Lance. I mean, where was the Lance in the very first games? That was definitely a very Team Secret kind of thing, but now bringing it through, Justman is really showing that he's not rusty with this at all. They just had to change tactics. They took away Grumpjaws, now they're up 2-1, but with a Lance coming in now, like, those impales are starting to be just so lit.
and we're at 10 minutes now, and the gold lead here for Team Secret is 4,000. Starting up this gold miner once more, and they will be able to progress their gold lead further. Gankstars, they are starting to realize the severity of their situation for court. There's a Baron on Tricky. He's starting to scale up in towards a bit of a late game. Vox, one of the heroes that can deal with Baron in the late game, but they need to get that gold onto Araki Zoro.
And the gold's just not there. We're down, 4,000 gold at this point. If you take just a snapshot of Tricky versus Araki, right? Araki is still looking for that double sustain. All right, fine, 10 minutes in. Look at Tricky. Tricky has a Sora Blade up breaking point. He's looking into crit at this point. We also have that reflex online. Tricky is just miles ahead.
Speaking of ahead, look at Doom versus Xenotech. It's just a Storm Crown on Xenotech. He's had to itemize into an Atlas Pauldron as his second tier 3, whereas I'm the Doom is being allowed to just build straight up damage. That's going to be Tricky diving forward with the jump jet, the on point, about 300 damage onto Araki. Ion Cannon about to fall. Tricky looking for the damage. Here comes Xenotech looking to find a kill. That's going to be a silence. They've swallowed up Doom. They're Tricky trying to escape, but it's Araki in trouble. Fountain isn't enough. Tricky going very low. He's going extremely low. He drops. Xenotech able to find the kill, but Doom finds the returner. A 2 for 1, and now Rex is the finisher. The dessert course here for Team Secret. Looking to find I'm the Doom. I'm the Doom. What's going on? He's just sitting still. It's going to be Rex finding a kill for himself. What an immense play there by Rex.
Here I am just even thinking, it's like, nah, this is not going to be the same case, right? The Crystal Sentry save they're making before. There's no way Rek can actually get out of this one alive, but he makes it happen. He gets those kills. He is dodging Just Man left, right, and center. We need to see more of that if we're going to be coming back here from Gankstars, but just Araki, too far forward perhaps in some of these fights, but that round, he was definitely the focus. Eventually they made him pay for it. Tricky compared to the Araki, but then like I'm the Doom, it just does so much more damage than Xenotech. Rex somehow, skin of his teeth, what a god, made it just not at all as terrible as it could have been, but Gankstars are still looking pretty grim.
Rex is just the man himself. If that was the move that gets Gankstars back into the game, then the credit goes to him. So confident that he can carry his team to victory, and when he has such characters as Xenotech and Araki by his side, Gankstars, they're definitely a formidable opponent, but they need to start finding their feet in this game.
All right, so if that is going to be the moment for the comeback, yeah, Rekt, MVP of the whole day. I don't even care about the next set of matches. I don't think you're going to beat that.
It's going to be a fight breaking out for court. Tricky has just purchased his monocle, so crit is there for him. That's a 3-item Baron here at 13 minutes, and at Gankstars, they've realized that they are not wanting to take on this 3-item Baron when Araki only has a Serpent Mask and a Poison Shiv to his name.
Now, even if Araki does, magically pick up a third item in the next minute or so, which it's possible, it's just not likely at this point, you're still not looking nearly as powerful as Tricky at this point, right? We still have the positioning, not quite a big vision game here from Team Secret, but they are consistently pushing forward, doing rotations, and leaving down scout traps, just enough to know what everything is. Impale,
blocked by Araki Zoro, not going to find himself rooted, and off of that, Team Secret not going to even attempt a fight. I think that's good heads-up play from Team Secret to know that when Araki Zoro, their main target, has escaped, then fighting a Crystal Sentry is not the worth thing to do.
Oh, this could be dangerous,
right.
But there's not a jump there from Secret. They did not know Rekt wasn't there, but he has treads to bring back here.
Tricky diving forward, but Rekt with the treads. Oh, damage onto Araki. That's a lot. Turret going down. Tricky, you need to be careful. Giffy and More going to stun Xenotech, but they're on to Tricky. Jump jets away. He's in the burst. That's a lot of damage. They're going to swallow up Doom, and Doom trying to get away, but I don't think he can. Oh, the on-point shield. He's over the wall. Can he escape this? I don't know if he can. The Sentry in Europe, it gets its revenge.
Oh, I gotta come out here more often. These sentries are fire, but that was actually just such a great stuff from Xenotech to bring I'm the Doom out of that one. Like, there's no Aegis there, right? I'm the Doom has built up the damage. He has himself that Atlas to go with Justman. It's double Atlas on both sides yet again, but that swallow was really the defining moment of that one.
now Xenotech completing his aftershock as well. The 15-minute mark, say hello to the Kraken, and the replay, we have to watch it.
Yeah, well, Tricky and Justman off to the right. Rect is making sure they can't come to the savior here of Doom. And Doom, I mean, it was a great move to go over the wall, but the Sentry has all vision, it seems.
Yeah, all-seeing, all-knowing. Do not mess with the Crystal Sentries. That's the rule we've learned today here at this Unified Western Live Championship. Let's take stock forecourt. It's been an action-packed game, but let's see where we're at. 4,500 gold in the lead for Team Secret. Tricky with the coin for himself almost at that double monocles stage. Araki has finally finished his breaking point as well, so the damage now for Gankstars is there.
Well, the damage is there for Araki. The bigger thing for me is that Xenotech finally has his 2 to go. He also has that infusion sitting there as well, so if we find a fight, Gankstars still have a chance.
This is a great area to fight when your Lance and Rect is getting just that. Xenotech gonna dive forward. They're looking to get onto Tricky, and Tricky's getting bursted down. Tricky gets taken on out by Xenotech. I'm the Doom gets swallowed up, stuffed in the belly of a Xenotech as he chases onto Justman, but I'm the Doom's not done. Rose offensive away is just not enough. Gankstars with their items looking for an ace, and the ace is theirs.
Yeah, I call about tunnel vision here for Gankstars. Yeah, let's talk about I'm the Doom right there. Just sticking on top of Rekt, leaving his Tricky, and the Tricky gets hit hard by Xenotech, by Araki Zoro. Turns it into a 2v2 as Rekt does go down eventually, but then the Swallow comes through, right? 2v1 into basically another 2v1 as I'm the Doom does go down. Justman coming back with the impale basically seals his own fate from there, and Gankstars pick up a Kraken on top of it.
A Kraken, a turret, an ace. Everything that has just been said is void. Gankstars with a huge advantage now for them. The 3,000 gold lead that Team Secret are holding above Gankstars' head means nothing at this stage, as Gankstars are feeling confident enough to start taking fights.
Xenotech actually might become a little bit more unstoppable as time goes on. If I'm the Doom does not do anything up against Xenotech, look at the double armor he set himself up for here. Not only that, he has living armor on top of him, so Tricky is going to be having to deal with Xenotech in his face again and again.
This is going to be the first turret the Kraken looking to take here. Gankstars looking to match their stats. Let's see if they can push it forward. First turret to go down, and the Kraken, it's taken a beating. That's a lot of crit going down. That's going to be a stuff not taking anyone out. A huge down. Wrecked with the burst. It's going to get crucibled. Ion Cannon on top of the Kraken. Silence comes out. No damage onto Araki. Cannot deal with the Ion Cannon. Team Secret, they stop the Kraken from taking the choke. Do they have War Treads? No, they do not. Means the chase here is hard for Team Secret. They're pushing Gankstars right on back to their base, but they will give up foot and perhaps look to take a sentry instead.
Well, at least they're going to be taking out this Trent, but they do stop up the push. That's absolutely huge because Team Secret pick up a lot of gold from that one, and that's not going to be, some... I'm sorry, Dowsy's making some funny faces over here, but the turret push was stopped. The Kraken dead in his tracks. A lot of cash forked over to Secret there.
So the funny face has a reason for court. Tricky had the gold in his back pocket to get his second Tyrant's monocle and complete his weapon power build. Instead, prioritizing into an Aegis is obviously showing respect to Xenotech and the damage he's outputting.
Yep, the stuff has really started to turn things around here for Gankstars. Justman has that Crucible on top of it, but I'm the Doom is going to go into their own Shiv at this point, just really trying to bring down that self-sustaining Araki Zoro.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If I'm the Doom can stick onto Araki Zoro, take him down, cut down the healing, then that is going to be crucial.
Here
comes the engage. I'm the Doom starting to apply the mortal wounds. Araki taking damage. Tricky so safe. First the judgment goes out. The silence is there.
Close.
That's the fountain. I'm the Doom's healing. Tricky laying down the damage. They're looking. Impale. Wrecked. Caught up. That's the on point, but he's still alive. And Team Secret, the energy low. They cannot look for a re-engage. Everyone walks away wondering how no one died.
I didn't see the health at the end there for I'm the Doom, but it couldn't have been more than 50. Like, he just could have been sneezed on by anyone. He would have been the one to drop, but they have got a really curb down, and they did this time, because I'm the Doom so low, they didn't tunnel vision it. They didn't chase for the kill. Tricky was starting to amount the damage at that point, and Gankstars have really learned their lesson on that one. They cannot just keep running into Tricky. At this stage of the game, he can bring them to their knees.
20 minutes forecourt.
Wrecked has triple armor. Triple armor with 2 tier 3s.
The Inotech has almost done the same with the double. There's no defensive against I'm the Doom, and he's just not finding the damage here. He needs to be doing so. They haven't itemized anything against him. Earlier, when talking to Justman, he said it's on I'm the Doom to be the rock for the team. A Kraken being started up. This is so risky by Team Secret. They're looking to commit. Ion Cannon gonna go down. Wrecked with the Atlas on.
Oh,
and the Kraken still comes through for Gankstars. They're looking to make the fight. They've got the regen. Xenotech dives forward. Doom is low. Can Team Secret turn it? Araki goes very low as well. Xenotech in the middle of it. He's taking a lot of damage. That's gonna be the root, but can they commit?
They got one.
Goes to Doom. Tricky diving forward. They're looking for Araki, but they cannot get on top of him. Instead, they settle for Wreck. The Kraken may have been won by Gankstars, but Team Secret will not be dealing with a push.
Even with all that armor, it's still not enough. Not when another sentry's also involved on that one, but fine. The Kraken's stolen out. That's the only silver lining here. For Gankstars, they can't get a kill, but at least they're not going to get pushed down. They do take the choke point turn. They've opened up the base. If Gankstars can get one kill at the 21-minute mark plus, they will be able to finish out, but they are still struggling so mightily up against Tricky.
There's the Tyrant Monocle. Tricky has completed his weapon damage build. The music forecourt, it's menacing, but imagine what music is playing in the heads of all of these players. Team Secret steps away from becoming history, and Gankstars, of course, being steps away from stopping that from being a reality, a nightmare for North America.
The nightmare is still actually very real at this point, at least from our side of the pond here, Dowsy. But Gankstars, 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold between these teams. We're going to have a few minutes more until the Kraken comes through. Gankstars not very interested in contesting much. You know, once you pass the 40,000 gold mark, really the money difference does not become too much of an issue, because we do have multiple completed builds, at least into the 5-item state. But so much armor on top of Xenotech, wrecked into the triple. Justman actually following suit for his side, and now look at the flank.
Team Secret looking for the flank indeed. Gankstars, they're not aware of it. What can they do? First auto attack, they're charging forward. That's going to be Doom straight onto Araki, but look at the damage that's going down onto Doom. He's getting melted. Fountain, right timing. Tricky, he dives onto Araki.
Oh.
He doesn't quite have the damage, though. It's Xenotech him. Right, takes out Doom. Here comes Tricky. He is just going to get focused right on down.
GG.
Goes to Xenotech. GG perhaps. Gankstars are chasing. They've got 2 totes to go through, and now they're turning towards the base. 30 seconds on Doom, 40 seconds on Tricky. Gankstars with time to play with.
All right, we started that fight off with Wrecked just rushing right into Tricky. Thought maybe perhaps he lost control of everything, but no. He was looking for the Atlas. He got that Atlas, but he couldn't really seem to find a good situation. Justman is going to try his best here for the defense, and he will. He will, but there is a Kraken that is going to be in the wings here soon enough, and there's still 18 seconds for Tricky to come back up. But there's a big problem with that last fight, Dowsy. That last fight, Wrecked was a big target. You saw I'm the Doom. He was down so low. Justman rolled right through Wrecked, hit him with the Githian, and that put the Versa Judgment into the kill range of I'm the Doom. That was not the communication that Team Secret needed for that kill.
Well, the Kraken is going down very quickly, but Justman is looking to be the savior.
If he steals this.
Oh, the Impale doesn't quite go across the wall. Secured by Xenotech there. Kraken now to push for Gankstars.
I'm just still reeling from that fight. Like, Team Secret, I really do think if I'm the Doom had not been in that Versa Judgment, if Wreck had not got knocked by Justman into that kill zone, it could have been a very different fight. But at the same time, Gankstars, they might not have been able to push down, but there's still a Kraken here, and that Kraken will force at least Team Secret to reveal themselves.
Well, the flare does reveal Gankstars. Here come the Gankstars looking to push down. They haven't had quite such success with their turret pushes on Kraken, but the third for them this game. A stuffed onto Tricky. They've got to go forward, try and get him out of there. Tricky is out, jump jets away. They're looking to fight. Tricky looking to lay down the damage, and I'm the Doom's causing trouble here for Araki. Has to escape. The fountain available. Just Man can go for it. Impaled down, but let's not forget the Kraken. Tricky onto Araki. Can he get the kill? Give me a wall. That's him dead. That's the main damage, and now Team Secret have got to look to finish this one off. Xenotech takes down I'm the Doom, but Rex will fall. A double. Xenotech gets a double. He wants this game. He cannot believe his eyes. He's looking to finish it. They're not done here, Gankstars. They're taking us to a fifth. I don't think Just Man can defend the base against a Kraken and a Grumpjaw. Which one of those is worse? He's given up. We're going to Game 5.
Game 5 hype, Dowsy. Team Secret not able to clinch the deal in that reverse. The Gankstars get the first win. 2 go over to Secret, and now on the back of Xenotech, on the back of a triple armored up Adagio. And this Grumpjaw becoming such a central focus in this series. We are going to go the full distance here.
It's only appropriate forecourt that if a European team were to have a chance at upsetting the norm, that North American team takes them all the way. Game 5 upcoming. Before we get there though, let's hear what our beautiful faced analysts think about that one.
Thank you very much, guys. What an absolute treat this series is. Like, 20 minutes into this game, it could have gone any way. It felt like Secret had it. It felt like it was going to be a 3-1.
It did.
But Gankstars somehow pulled themselves back into it.
Yeah, what an unbelievable performance down the stretch. That's the Gankstars that played yesterday. Yeah. That's the Gankstars that played Game 1. Finally managing to get back to form. And it only took them, you know, almost 20 minutes to get to that point.
Yep.
But what a phenomenal showing. At the same time, Team Secret, couple of mistakes, couple of missed skill shots, really cost them, really hurt at the end.
Yeah, I think it was a lot down to the pressure of that game, right? Both
Absolutely.
teams very aware of how much is riding on that game, and you could see it in the late game team fights. A few mechanical mistakes that it felt like we're down to nerves.
Yeah, the pressure is a lot on I'm the Doom, honestly. Like Team Secret told us early on, if I'm the Doom performs, they win. If he underperforms, they lose. And in this specific game, when it mattered most for him to hit those on points, to keep the barrier up, to stay alive, so many fountains having to be used from Just Man because I'm the Doom is almost instantaneously dying. So, I mean, you can kind of see here, like, it's the same kind of thing where I'm the Doom is going in, but once you'll see in a second, the critical on points that need to come out are missing, and that's all. See that on point? That's all his damage. He also swapped to Grumpjaw instead of going on Vox, who has max stacks. You can look for executes, just not actually getting the damage they need down. Tricky tried. Like, Tricky was really trying to get everything here, but they kind of went a little deep on this Adagio. I think once the Adagio kind of went down into the jungle, they should have tried to escape, use jump jets to go back. You have a Kraken to think about.
Yeah, Kraken was pushing in the base at that point, and then you see Xenotech just come in and finish it off. And just what a way to end this game. Just Man came out, was like, maybe I can save this, then saw just how much health Kraken had left after the turret explosion. Knew there was no way he was going to be able to do enough damage to stop it.
Yeah, and I think this game worthy of the series that it's in right now. 2 apiece. We are going to a 5th game. The draft is almost ready for that as well. But anyone, I mean, a lot of people coming in today were saying Cloud9 versus SK, that's the game to watch. I think we were wrong. I think right now it is all about Secret versus Gankstars. Secret, those question marks have gone away at this point. Leon clearly was not the linchpin. Clearly Secret can go on without him. And Gankstars, can they keep up the consistency for one more game?
Have arisen.
That's true.
That's the problem right now. Can they close it out? Because they had that game in hand and were unable to do so. And it's
so close.
So close. And honestly, the turning point almost felt like that Crystal Sentry MVP play
goodness.
To turn things around. That really was where the game began to turn in favor of Gankstars.
Yeah, I think going into the draft, actually Team Secret shouldn't vary their draft too much from what they did. I think in the last game, putting I'm the Doom on that CP Blackfeather, it was effective, but he went into some strange builds. The Poison Shiv, like he doesn't have enough defense to stick on a target. So I think if they fine-tune a little bit, let's get the Grumpjaw. If Gankstars doesn't pick or ban Baron, I definitely think Team Secret needs to pick it up. Tricky still looked really good, even in that loss.
Yeah. We've kind of stepped back a little bit to this kind of default draft once again, where the Lyra comes in very on early. Do we think the Adagio is going to be banned out here, or do we think it'll be safe to be picked?
I definitely think if it's going to be banned out, it's probably going to come from Team Secret, so Gankstars doesn't take both. At least Team Secret hasn't shown proficiency on the Adagio yet, so I don't think Gankstars is too concerned about it. And it forces Team Secret to have to think right now, do we get rid of the Adagio so they can't run it?
Yeah.
Double heal. Blackfeather is off the board, though, so that is something to note. But that Kroll pick, of course, Rona coming through at the end, those are all still options.
Yeah, I think Adagio needs to be banned here by Secret. Otherwise, they are setting themselves up for a very, very difficult Game 5.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's a horrible situation where Secret, they would love to pick the Adagio, right, in the next couple of picks, but they don't get that opportunity.
Well, something to consider here is if they do ban the Adagio, then Gankstars could just take Baron with Lyra, which is something now, because Adagio's open, they force the envelope, because if Team Secret feels like they can play it as well, then Gankstars either gets Adagio or Baron here. They choose the Adagio, that means Team Secret gets Baron with a front line. This is still something that can do a lot of work if they choose to go that route.
I still think this favors Gankstars, though, because we saw that Araki Zoro's Baron was not his greatest hero anyway, right? And we've seen that in this series specifically. Vox going to go the way of Secret. That's usually been on Gankstars' side.
The Fortress is so important here. Having the Mortal Wounds to apply to anyone who's trying to heal up, and the Vox applying Mortal Wounds with a Poison Shiv. This is a draft that Team Secret, they adjusted. They knew what they wanted. They almost, I feel like they maybe baited Gankstars into picking up this double heal because now they have a way to deal with it.
But the question is, can they deal with it? Because we saw the double heal comp was the first series of this game, or first game of this series, sorry, and it was a whitewash. It wasn't even remotely close.
I think the important thing, though, to recognize is that Team Secret drafted themselves in a really weird spot on that A side with the Celeste pick. This is far more control composition. Once again, Grumpjaw being on I'm the Doom, performing really well on that pick. Glaive coming through to me feels a little bit like a mystery pick. Like Gankstars wasn't really sure what to do with this Fortress Grumpjaw in the double heal. They know if it's something immobile, they're going to get hit really hard. Fortress can lock him down. So Afterburn maybe baiting him to a worse pick, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Glaive is a mistake. Okay. I absolutely think it's a mistake. You already have Vox who's going to be giving you Mortal Wounds. Just because there's two people that give you Mortal Wounds, you should not move away from what you know works with a double heal.
All right, so we have to get on into this one. I'm itching to get on into this one. Final predictions for this match, Fuji.
I think I want to go with Team Secret still again because they do have what I would consider the counters to what Gankstars are running.
They have the counter. I think actually Team Secret does have the better draft.
They've swayed the entire deck.
But I think Gankstars is going to win.
Okay, I eat my words. They haven't swayed the desk. We're still split on this one. Let's find out whether Europe's hope can shine through or whether Gankstars are going to push on forward to the semis as we hand it back to our casters.
Game 5. We have our notes, we have our statistics. Who cares, right? The book needs to be rewritten. It's time to see where this series goes for Core. It's been a treat. Both teams have just surpassed expectation levels as far as how things can go. Now Gankstars back on this double sustained composition. Let's see if what won them Game 1 is enough to win them Game 5.
Well, I am going to echo Bacon a little bit on this one. The Glaive feels strange, but a weapon Glaive, when executed correctly, can actually just ooze damage. But the double Shiv, or the double Mortal Wounds, like you're going to be looking for a Shiv on top of that Vox. You're going to have that Fortress to apply there as well. This is definitely going to be a different landscape than that Game 1, because that was a very sweeping win for Gankstars. They might have the double heals, but there's so much counter to it.
There is, and let's talk about that counter. Mortal Wounds on Fortress. Tricky loves his Vox. It's one of his most successful heroes during seasonal play, and now he's on top of it. If he goes down the Poison Shiv for himself, well, he'll have another way to shut down that healing with the Mortal Wounds. It is time for Court. This is it. Game 5, and Gankstars looking to take the win with a bit of momentum. but is it Team Secret that's going to be Europe's hope?
It's too tough to call. I mean, I know that we've already lost Fuji to the EU side of things. Bacon at least stayed strong with me here, but the glaive just really makes me give pause on this one. The early game, a little bit more of a deciding factor on this one because you can do invades with the Fortress, you can do invades with Xenotech and Rekt, especially Rekt, right? If he is on this Lyra, and well, he is, there is a strong chance we're going to see that Storm Crown come out of him.
Storm Crown, he likes it into scenarios where you can bully. Yes, Fox has a bit of a low range as far as things is concerned. I'm not sure it's the item for me today. That's a minion candy, I believe, dropped.
Yeah, there is.
That's going to be the wave starting to push in. I'm the Doom, though, walking into trouble. Araki and Xenotech, Team Secret, they've split Rekt from them. Xenotech with the stun, Tricky in the wall! And that's going to be first blood for Xenotech. Now, can he escape? I'm the Doom says no, going to find the return kill, but it's so hard for him to escape the harass that Gankstars are bringing, the fire ticking, and Araki will take that kill. Just Man looking to escape, going to get cut off here by Araki. This Fortress has only one way to go, and it's towards death, I think, as he turns around, tries to buy time.
Oh, get Xeno in on that.
Xeno gonna get in on the action. You are entirely correct, and he will find the third.
The big thing on that one is that when Xenotech gets involved, you're now getting assist gold, you're now getting kill gold on everybody, right? The fact that they're able to chase for that long goes a long way for your wallet. Look at the cash difference already, you know, 400 and counting. It's just been one set of kills, but Xenotech and Rekt, right? These guys can really start roaming because they're putting the hurt right now into I'm the Doom.
I'm the Doom's in so much trouble. There's no healing to keep him alive. He tries to escape, but he cannot. Gankstars are not ready to go down without a fight, and the fight they're bringing to Team Secret. Another kill goes in favor of them. 4-1, and the gold lead starting to pull ahead.
All right, Steel Jungle, get kills, get themselves those Ancient Treants. That's where Xeno is going to be probably heading here after this. Araki Zoro there to join him as well. Not really a lot of focus on top of the lane, right? We don't have those late game big weapon carries. We don't have a Ringo that needs to get into 3 items, 4 items. We don't have that Baron putting a timer on the matchup, right? It's very freeform and fluid, and Gankstars rotations are really serving them out well here.
It's an entirely new motivated Gankstars in this series, and Team Secret, Tricky young as far as his competitive experience is concerned. The live championship status as far as Team Secret are concerned is nil apiece. They have not played in this arena, in this environment. And if Gankstars take this early aggression and just turn the mentality of Team Secret inside out, that will be so crucial for them getting a lead in this game.
All right, so Xenotech is building up into that weapon glaive. There's not going to be any tricks here. It looks like it will be that Sorrow Blade here first off. I'm the Doom looking to make sure that he has that banner into a Storm Crown, but Rekt doing the same. This is just what Rekt likes to do. It's going to help out great in the jungle. It's going to help out great for the invades. Also goes a long way for the cooldown reduction. There's not going to be a fountain until probably 7-8 minute mark, depending on how well these guys do, but Rekt will have lots of cooldown reduction for the heals that he himself as Lyra can bring.
Xenotech finding Just Man. I'm the Doom coming in. Araki, he is back there, and Trick's going to run into him. That is a lot of damage coming down, and it's not much Just Man could do about it. I'm the Doom looking to try and trade onto Araki. Tricky manages to escape. I'm the Doom trying to find the kill, and the kill he'll find, but can he escape? Xenotech and Rekt, afterburn backwards. He's going to trade on over. Crystal Sentry trying to intervene, but it's just not enough. Xenotech, 5 kills to his name.
5 out of 6. Like, he has absolutely had himself a fantastic start. Adagio and Tricky, while they were chasing down Just Man, like, that was an Adagio win.
He's going in again! He gets his 6! That's just Xenotech turning up the Haipu here in London. He is rearing for a victory.
Finally able to capitalize on what Araki Zoro was trying to finish off, but 6 out of 7, that's a pre-5 minute Sorrow Blade from this weapon glaive, and weapon glaive in Europe has traditionally been in that lane, but here with Gankstars bringing it forward on this double heal, it doesn't even really feel like it's a double heal. Like, this is just Rekt really facilitating a lot of early game, and Xenotech really making good hits with this afterburn.
Team Secret look lost for swords. They're just walking around like chickens with their heads cut off here for court. 2 deaths apiece for Tricky and Justman. I'm the Doom with 3. He's the only member with kills for his team. And whilst the gold may not be a super huge lead right now for Team Secret, starting to hit that 1,000 gold lead for Gankstars, it feels like their map rotations, their coordination, it just doesn't exist.
It's definitely looking dire here early on. If you look at some of the early game choices, right, I mean, I'm the Doom. He's not really going to be bringing out a lot of damage. He's really looking for that farm situation. Justman in the Dragon Blood contract, you know, maybe a Protector would have been on better.
Onto Tricky, taking a lot of damage here. Comes Gankstars to get involved. I'm the Doom trying to lay down the third. Justman has to fall back. Fountain already used. They're trying to single out Xenotech, but Justman goes down to Xeno. He is just stomping on fools right now. And with the minion candy from Gankstars, the Storm Crown on Wrecked. That's going to be first turret going to Gankstars.
Like, the early game damage is just 100% looking over to Gankstars at this point. Doom is not going to survive this.
Doom goes down as well. Tricky now in trouble as Araki tries to turn up the heat as well. The Gankstars family starting to rear their heads as Game 5 seems to be firmly in their grips.
Xenotech's going to be building from that attack speed on top of things, but Tricky, we're now 6.5 minutes in, does not even have a tier 3. Araki Zora at least, you know, might be a bit cheaper, but the alternating current is at least real from him. And every 1v1 as Tricky does not capitalize into a Shiv. That's going to be a Sorrow Blade here early on. They're really going to be just saying, okay, Fortress, right? You're the only kind of mortal wounds that we're bringing forward. We got to match damage with damage, but Doom is going to be so far from an aftershock.
I do believe that we will see a poison shiv come out of Tricky yet.
Yeah, sure, but for now, it's just trying to go hit for hit with the Sorrow Blade and that alternating current that we already have established here for Gankstars.
Team Secret are in a very precarious spot for court. They have to be very careful where they go. Xenotech, he's got his Sorrow Blade, he's got the components for a Tornado Trigger as well. And he is just
man, he's going to be
hungry.
a whirlwind.
He is going to be a whirlwind. Indeed. Team Secret, they cannot afford to contest their jungle. They are just allowing Gankstars. They're going to go. They're looking for the fight. That's going to be Tricky throwing out the way for it. But look at Justman so low. Oh, stuffed. That's going to be Xenotech taking out of the fight. First, the Judgment goes down. It stuns Tricky. And Tricky trying to escape Xenotech. And he will not be able to. That's 1. That's 2. I'm the Doom. Last man alive. But he's got the Crystal Sentry on his side. And he's looking to try and make a miracle play. He's split Gankstars. The healing camp is what he's looking for. And he will be able to get it. But will he go for anything more is the question. Looking to dive over the wall. It's a dangerous move. The heals are there. Doom, he has no vision. He will be forced to fall back.
Okay, so Gankstars got that fountain. So, you know, Team Secret taking that fight was a good opportunistic play. They didn't quite win out the numbers, but now with a fountain on the side of Rek to go with that Storm Crown. You know, the cooldown reduction there for the Sigil was great, but the offensive maneuvering that Rek has kind of used out early to get Xenotech ahead. It might be a bit too much now at this point. And 8 minutes in, wrecked with that fountain now on top of things. I mean, a lot of defenses are coming together. If Xenotech picks up a reflex block here sometime soon, then we are going to be looking at a very strong position here for Gankstars in the 10-minute mark.
Poison Shiv now completed for Tricky. He will have some attack speed and the mortal wounds as well for court to boot, but here comes Xenotech after burn Justman.
Wow.
That's the dive in. Justman going very low, Tricky with the wait for it, but it's just not enough. He falls, and Doom as well. It's just Tricky left alive, and Gankstars are going to be feeling so motivated with their dominance so far.
Those puppies just melted. Like, they were not really a part of that fight at all. Doom still responding here with Justman on top of things, so the siege of the turret is going to be real tricky. Not even willing to get anywhere close, but Xeno finds an angle.
Yeah, that's Tricky knocked back. No, he just doesn't stand a chance. 3 hits, and that's a very dead Fox, a very dead turret as well. The gold is just stacking up, and Team Secret are not finding any entrances.
I like, Justman still has this Dragon Blood contract. I don't think I've seen a single charge go out.
This is just an entirely new Gankstars. This is the Gankstars we saw yesterday. The fierce look in their eyes, the utter determination to make North America proud.
Oh, Iraqi.
Shatterglass completed for Iraqi second item, a gold payout of 200 apiece for the team. They may be 4th seed in A, but they will not let them stop them when they're going up against the second of EU.
All right, 6,000 gold between him, but Zeno has to deal with an Atlas this time.
Tricky, he's in trouble. Xenotech is trying to find the afterburn. Oh, the damage and the burst, and Tricky just doesn't stand a chance. Doom and Justman trying to escape. Doom gonna split from Justman, and that will be a second kill going over to Xenotech. 12, 2, and 3 on this weapon-powered glaive. Xenotech stepping up so hard.
Yeah, the King of the Grave really just welcoming new recruits as he just chops them down. But like, look at this engage. Xenotech just goes right onto Tricky, and then it's going to be that portal going through. That is just not good news for the Vox at all that, and eventually they clean through to pick up Justman on top of things.
This Crystal Sentry just wanted to head back to work. He's like, hey, Gankstars, I had you back before, but
now
you
he's
take
out of
me
there.
out. He's out. He's gone at 11 minutes. Gankstars not dealing with his antics anymore. And Team Secret, they just do not have anywhere near the items of Gankstars. It's going to be a huge, long wait for Team Secret if they want to scale into this game.
Looking into the contraption here from Rekt, but they do not scout out the bush. Zeno, if he gets hit here, could be tough. Could be tried that.
They're going in. It's Tricky in trouble. Xenotech not quite able to find the damage, but they're turning straight onto Justman. Wait for it there. The silence is real. A lot of damage onto Zeno, but it's just not enough. They're trying to take down Zeno. They're trying to do the work, but it's a 2 versus 3. Tricky just doesn't have the energy.
Through the portals.
Xenotech gonna dive straight on in. There may not be energy, but Tricky's not going anywhere, and that's an ace for Gankstars.
Standing ovation right there. My goodness. But Xenotech not dropping was huge for the fight. The double heals coming through fierce on that one. It's like mortal wounds? I don't know, man. I'm just not really seeing those applications doing much to stop this hype train.
Yeah, that's choke point turret taken at 12 minutes, an entirely new record of Gankstars in this series.
They're so happy.
They are happy. Look at the player cams. Look at the difference between Gankstars and Team Secret. Heads down for Team Secret, down in the dumps, whilst Gankstars are looking forward to their semi-final appearance.
So Xenotech didn't get into that reflex, but he has that tier 2 armor, has that tier 2 shielding on top of things. He can really go either way that they need to, but up now nearly 10,000 gold, Dowsy. This is the biggest discrepancy we've seen between these two this entire series.
Huge discrepancy, as you mentioned, and Team Secret on the run once more. Xenotech may not be near, but Gankstars, they are going to just put on a brave face and see what happens. That's going to be the portal. Switcherooing. Tricky's in so much trouble. A 2 versus 3, and they win the 2 versus 3. Huge damage. Justman stunned. He's going to get afterburn, and that's going to be the fight won there for Gankstars. 13 minutes. Gankstars are done with Europe. They're wanting to make NA's name proud, and that Vayne crystal turret stood as not a single shred of a chance.
21 kills to 3. Call it 24 kills in just over 13.5 minutes in. This is a bloodthirsty game, all up and down here, Dowsy. But the 2v3 is a huge statement of how far ahead Gankstars are right there. If the puppies had come out earlier and the one had just jutted off to the side to say, okay, well, Xenotech's nowhere even close, they might have actually tried to stand their ground, but not knowing where that angle was going to be for Zeno just put them too scared to fight.
7 times the kills here for Gankstars. A gold lead that is almost at 10,000 at the 14-minute mark, and where are Team Secret? Where is this European fire that people were relying on in this series? It's been put out.
This is amazing.
It's been doused. And look at this. This is amazing. The flank potential. Team Secret, they're caught like fishes in a barrel. Let's start shooting. Tricky is in trouble. Dancing away. That's a good ultimate. Stuff comes out. They're turning the fight. Iraqi is dead. Team Secret, they're not ready to be done yet. Tricky finds a double. It's a double for the 2. And that's going to be a triple for the Crumjaw. 10,000 hasn't gone behind for Team Secret. I don't know how they did that.
Gankstars basically gave up any advantage they had with the ambush. They had to really go cross the fold. They really telegraphed what was happening right there, and Gankstars, that was the sloppiest thing they've done here this matchup. And Team Secret, good to see that they actually make it happen, but like they had to go right through that jungle, right through everything. They were not together, and even with that portal engaged, like they cannot find Tricky. It's just he stutter stepping too well. They miss at the end there crucially from that glaive. And then while we did eventually get a kill back, it does stem what Team Secret can do. They pick up 1 turret, not 2, not 3. But at the same time, Gankstars, like they threw away a lot of positioning on that one.
When you got fishes in a barrel forecourt, you don't give them an AK back just to make things fair. Gankstars, they need to put the fire out now, and they are going in here, looking for Tricky, but he's out of the fight. It's Iraqi in trouble, going very low. Founder comes out, first set down, and Just Man going to 4. Tricky now in trouble.
There you go,
and
there
it
you
is,
go.
the double kill coming through from Xenotech. What we expected in the last fight, and Gankstars looking for the triple kill. Iraqi, Gankstars wrecked, and Xeno says, Doom, I saw your triple, mate, but I got one in the bag as well.
Yeah, no giving AKs to the fish that time. They shot, they blew up that barrel. Now Gankstars going to blow up the rest of this series. This is going to be a 3-2 win for them, and 25 kills to 6. A very convincing game. One bad fight doesn't matter. They can still take the win.
Gankstars, they turn up the heat, and they show up here in London. They are not ready to give Europe a win, and it's a victory for Gankstars.
And Gankstars with the 4th seed coming through. A lot of people saying, you know, Team Secret with the bye. They're coming in. This is going to be their first matchup, but a roster that's not tested on live. They didn't get to really check it out. They weren't viewing from the spots that they're in now yesterday, and, you know, nerves. We talked a lot about this, at least on the analyst desk side of things. That can really